Hey, hey. Welcome back for the fourth time today. Hey, Allie writes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I was going to say we got a goal tonight of 10 super chats because I was told a couple of things you guys got to do. I was told that if you guys look up my old videos, that gets me in the algorithm. And I was told super chats get you in the algorithm or memberships, either or. So we got a goal right now of 10. What's up, Deets? Welcome to the house. What's up, Crystal and Christy? You're back under your real name. Crystal and Christy and Kendra, Squirrel, Amber, Annie, Allie Wright, Christine, Tennessee Southern, Amber, Rhonda, Carol, Squirrel. I think I got everyone. All right. Hey, just another troll. Hey, Joy. So, Joy, I got news for you. I keep getting confused between Joy Carter and Joy Lang. And when I saw the other Joy, I'm like, oh, wait, that's a different Joy. I keep getting confused. What's up, Betty? Hey, Annie, thank you. Yeah, even if it's like $1 or $2, I was told to get you in the algorithm. It gets you more in the algorithm. And looking up old videos. I don't know why, but someone told me that. I'm like, okay. The time out of 10 seconds did override the 24-hour. Oh, that's cool. Joy, how are your candles, by the way? And I know some of you guys got notifications. The rest are going to get notified after this live because I have stuff I got to go out, including yours, Annie. She is very cool. Very cool. But I kept getting confused. I'm like, Joy Carter. And then I saw Joy Lang. I'm like, oh my God, it's a different person. I'm like, I keep getting confused. So, okay, first thing I want to address real fast is Jonesin. Hopefully she's still awake. There's Joy Lang. Now both Joys are here. So I was listening to Jonesin before, and Jonesin made a comment about how rude my chat is. And I was like, what? And then she corrected it later on and said that she meant when I talk about Queenbee. Okay, so I want to address this real quick. Jonesin, don't you think I have a right and my chat has a right to be upset if I'm talking about QB? Because if I'm talking about QB, it's most likely, hey, Leslie, hey, Denise, it's most likely because something happened on the panel relating to me. 90% of the time I'm talking about her, it's because something was done to me. And because a lot of people watch her, it's, you know, my chat will come back and tell me this happened, this happened, this happened, and this happened. So it's not like I'm just randomly going after her. My chat's like, rah, 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 rah. I personally think I have one of the most mellow chats and one of the best chats because everybody thinks for themselves. And I know people like to talk shit, but I don't have an echo chamber. I don't have people that won't call me out. I don't have people that are like yes people. You know, I have a few, obviously. Gladys, I saw it, but I haven't opened it. So, I mean, I've always said that. I have a very intelligent group of women and men, don't get me wrong, don't hate me on men, who do think for themselves. So I find it disheartening when you think that my chat is so mean, because we're not at all. And I just don't know why you said that. So there you are. You missed the point. I was using your chat as an example because QB's chat used to talk about see, that I didn't know. That I didn't know. But I mean, I understand that not everyone gets along. I get that. But it's just you said it twice, and I was like, what the hell? Why is she using me as an example? Because there are people in your chat that are complete assholes. Just like there's people in my chat that are complete assholes, you know, like to you. And there's people in your chat that are complete assholes to me. So I get that. And everyone has that. But I find it kind of funny. And let me preface this with, I've been in your position of what I'm about to say. So don't like take it personal. But you were once that person. You were once that person in Queenbee's chat that was fucking kissing her ass. And everything I said, you were like, no, no, no. So again, I'm not downing you for that. I've been in that position. But I'm just saying it. I kind of thought it was funny. Because everything you were saying, I'm like, finally, she finally gets it. She finally gets it. And again, I've been there. We've all been there. Every creator's been there. So I just thought it was kind of funny that, you know, I'm glad you finally got it, though. I'm glad it was finally like, yes, finally, she gets it. So exactly. And that's what I'm saying, Jones. I've been there too. You know, I've left the chat and I'm like, oh my God, I used to be that person. So that's why I'm really saying I'm not downing you for it. It's just, it's kind of funny listening to you, you know, get out of that circle and then speak on it like a lot of us have seen a long time ago to see the light. But isn't it crazy though? I mean, isn't it wild? And I have been saying this for a long time, but her chat is so yes people. And I said this recently, and I haven't seen a chat like this in a long time, but I'm like, maybe I'm doing it wrong because she ignores her chat. She doesn't acknowledge them. She barely acknowledges super chats. B. Tim has to do that for her. And these people can't get enough. These people throw money. These people just want her attention. They want her approval. They want to know that she can acknowledge them. And they'll spend their last dollar trying to get her attention. It is the weirdest dynamic I've ever seen, especially someone like her. And these people just can't get enough. And it's crazy. It's crazy. Oh, you got a membership? So it's just wild to me. I'm sorry it took long about chat. I actually enjoy your chat now, but back when I felt QB was the victim concept. Oh, okay, I gotcha. It's all good. I just, like I said, it was a main point of my live. I just wanted to address it because I heard it because I was listening. But you did a very good job on your live, by the way. You really did. I thought it was a good live. I had the same thing happen to me last month. I've never subscribed. Yeah, that happens. You know who is the queen of getting free memberships? Crystal. Crystal one day got like 7 different memberships to 7 different channels. It was wild. I was like, how do you keep getting free memberships? Like constantly. She just kept getting one after the other, after the other, after the other. It was fucking whacked. I was like, wow. I was like, go Crystal. You don't ever get them? Oh, yeah, she did. I was in Jones's chat and somebody gave me, I was saying, can I get a membership? Or how do I get a membership? And someone bought one and I just happened to get it. I was like, wow. I have memberships to everyone. I'm on month 4 of free memberships to QB. There you go. Hey, Chrissy. I've gone on channels I've never heard of channels I'm not even sub to. They say that a lot. Oh, yeah, this is my 4th live, Joy. All right. So I don't know how long this is, so we'll give it a shot. But I did hear Glare beat him, destroyed him. Shut it. Oh my God, shut up. All right. Oh, he's He came on in the beginning. All right, let's just take note. Hey, Haley, let's just take note that Glara's shirt is a little bigger than normal. It's not skin tight. It's a little bigger. It looks like he can actually move. It's still from like 1972, but he can move. All right. So let's get into this. He talked over him loudly in the rage. Who did? Beats him? Oh, so some of you guys have seen it. I hope you don't watch it after I told you not to watch it. QB's great for putting you to sleep. Why did he? Well, all right. So let me give you guys a little backstory if you didn't know. Yesterday, the biggest tragedy pimp in the community was talking about who tragedy pimps are. That's another thing I want to address before this gets started. Wanted to talk about tragedy pimps and who's a tragedy pimp and so on and so forth. Well, the Glare was in chat and somehow they got on a conversation. Glara's like getting pissed off at him. I don't know what started. I wasn't watching that long, but I don't know what started it. But all of a sudden, Glare comes in and Glara's like, you know, beats him. I want to bring you up on panel. And I want you to come on my panel. I will close down chat. I will close down everything. Now, I understand why Glare wanted to do that. Because if Glare goes on QB's panel, he's never going to get a word in. He's got 7 people attacking him. You're going to have voices butter nose in every 30 seconds or 10 seconds. And then you're going to have chat bashing the fuck out of him. Half of them don't even know what they're talking about, but they're just bashing because that's the thing to do. And they're all followers. Not all, but a lot of them are followers. So I understand why he would want Beats Him on his panel. So they finally, Beats Him agreed to go on his panel to talk about the Karen Reed case. So here we are. So that's the backstory of how we landed here now.
To indulge him if he references a court document or anything of that nature. I did send him through Queenbee. I sent him the link to Sleuthy Goosey's spreadsheet with all of the documents and statements from so-called witnesses in this case. So he's free to reference them. I'll probably reference them myself. Again, this is not a test to see who knows.
Because we know the Glare never does any research.
More or anything of that nature. The idea here is for 2 very disagreeing people to basically kind of chisel off the fat and control the narrative of misinformation that's being spread on this case. So that's my intention. But without any further ado, he's been waiting patiently backstage for quite a while. Be Tim.
Yeah, what's up?
How you doing, buddy?
So, what's up? So what do you want to get into? You want to get into like talking about what you believe is the case? What do you believe?
How are you feeling though? Are you comfortable? You got something to drink, some coffee or water or anything like that?
Everything? I'm fine.
Okay, good.
So I guess the concept is maybe you can give me your position. We both our positions on the subject. So what's your position?
My position is that I believe Karen Reed to be innocent. But overall, my overall position is that if this were to go to trial, which I don't believe that it will, but if it were to go to trial, I don't think there is any jury on the planet that would ever convict Karen Reed based on how this investigation was conducted.
Okay, that's a dangerous statement that he just made. Because it's dangerous because you can't say that, Glare. We haven't even been presented evidence. So just because the investigation is shitty, we haven't seen any evidence yet. You can say you believe she is innocent based on what we know so far, but to say that not a jury would convict when we don't even have any evidence is kind of weird. Bad. You can't think like that.
So yes, Luthi, I did send him the spreadsheet. He has it. You have it, right?
Yeah, I do. Continue.
No, that's it.
It's kind of like saying there's no way a jury won't convict Brian Kohlberger. Well, we don't have all the evidence yet.
I mean, that's it. And Turtle Boy is in jail because he's being railroaded in silence.
Well, do you want to debate about
Turtle Boy's in jail because he's an asshole.
one case or two cases? Because I thought we were talking about Karen Reed. If you want to,
they're connected.
I don't see them connected.
Okay, they are not connected, DeGlara. They are two totally separate entities.
I think two separate cases.
Well, that's why you're here, so we can discuss that, and I can explain how they're connected.
You can believe Karen Reed's innocent and believe Turtle Boy is guilty. In your opinion, they're two separate cases. Yeah,
sure you can.
So why are you combining the two?
Okay, we're getting into semantics here. I'm explaining because I can actually show you why Turtle Boy's case is absolutely connected to the Karen Reed case. I mean, how could you say that they're not in the latest developments where it was Ken Mello, the special prosecutor assigned to Turtle Boy, not Karen Reed, who managed to seize Karen Reed's phones?
Yeah, because there's investigation.
So they're not connected?
Their investigation if there's collusion.
Okay.
So let's talk about Karen Reed's case because that's a pretext.
So if there's investigation that there's collusion,
Okay, if anyone wants to keep score, 1 point for B Tim to keep it the focus on Karen Reed. So right there we give, with a pen, we got to give B Tim 1 point.
you would have to logically agree that they are connected, yes or no?
No, their collusion on whether witness intimidation is going on. That's a separate charge for murder.
Which make witness intimidation for what case then?
For her case, for a murder case, but it's separate.
The Karen Reed case, right?
I don't think Turtle Boy had
connected.
I don't think Turtle Boy had anything to do with the murder of John O'Keefe.
Of course,
so
nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that. We're talking about the prosecution. We're talking about the investigation and the investigators that are involved in both cases. We're talking about the same district attorney that are involved in both cases. They are connected. I mean, they're absolutely connected.
Are we going to get into the Karen Reed discussion? Or are we going to just?
We are.
Well, we're not really, because we're talking about what the evidence.
You said they weren't connected, and I just explained how they were.
Well, that's your opinion, but I don't believe that. So we can disagree.
It's not a matter of opinion. If the special prosecutor who's assigned to the Turtle Boy case is seizing Karen Reed's phones because she believes that they are colluding in order to intimidate witnesses, then the cases are absolutely connected by those two things.
They're separate charges.
Of course they're separate charges. We know they're separate charges.
So they're not.
Karen Reed has separate charges in the same case. Of course.
But anyway, my positions, let's go move on to the Karen Reed thing, because that was what we were.
I don't know. Do I give Glara a point there? I'm debating giving Glara a point for that. He was pretty articulate. What do you think? No point? Point? I will give Glara 1 point. No? Yes, no? All right, we'll give him a half point. All right, we'll give him a half point. Half.
We were here to discuss. Thank you.
Why do you think that she is guilty?
I think she's guilty based upon the evidence. I think she's guilty based upon the Green report. I think she's guilty based upon the fact that there was glass fiber found on the back of the bumper. I believe she's guilty because there's microscopic plastic that was found on his cloth. I believe she's guilty based upon the Waze that basically disproves the Apple Health data that actually with the Green report. I believe she's guilty based upon.
What exactly disproves the Apple Health data? Well,
according to Waze, according to the Waze, it says that she, according to Waze, they basically at 12:20 from Dedham Street, they arrived at 34 Fairview at 12:24, and it's a mile and a half. Meanwhile, if you look at the Apple data, it says 1221 to 1221.14 to 1224.37 that they ascended and descended flights. That's not possible if they're punching into Waze at Dedham at 1220.
Ash, I was thinking the exact same thing, that for some reason he's making me want a cigarette. It's so funny that you said that.
Okay. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah, sure. And that's at the Green Report. I got it from basically Yellow Cap and Tails. He basically went through the report and the Waze.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So,
I mean, basically, he was in the car at the time, so most likely he was going slow enough that it was like not that fast, and it was recording as like a walking thing. That's one of the reasons why I believe that.
okay.
That's all. Mm-hmm. Are you going to explain about the microscopic plastic on his clothes as well?
Well, yeah.
Okay. How did that happen?
Who knows? It's a question of
well, you're not going to
chain of custody of evidence. So, I mean, when the victim's clothes are just laid out on the floor in the emergency room where they're trying to revive him, anything could have happened.
Do you believe Proctor went into the emergency room and sprinkled microscopic plastic on his clothes?
I'm saying who knows. I'm saying that if I were a defense attorney, and well, if a defense attorney were to explain this to me and I were sitting on a jury, then I would say that would create doubt, because if the chain of custody is mishandled, if the evidence is mishandled, which it clearly was, then anything could have happened to that evidence.
Can you explain how was chain of custody mishandled?
Well, that's the thing. It wasn't bagged. It was just thrown on the floor. There are items of his clothing that are missing. So when you look at the photograph, the still of the footage inside the bar at the Waterfall Grill, you can see that he's wearing a belt. One of his shoes is missing. His shoe was
recovered. His shoe and hat was recovered at the scene with a black straw and broken glass on the side at the scene.
Oh, the belt and hoodie. Excuse me, the belt and hoodie.
Yeah, well, I don't know about the belt. I know that the hat and the other shoe fell off because he was hit by the car. That's a common thing with being hit by a car. And why would a black straw be placed there as well at the scene? There was a black straw, a broken glass, cocktail glass, a hat, and one of his shoes was missing, found by another officer at the scene. A couple of days, I think, a couple hours later, I think.
Right. So why wasn't the scene secured immediately?
Well, first they were investigating if it was an accident, and then they basically it was death, and they went to the investigation. What's the problem? It was secured.
Well, no,
I think another team wasn't the evidence collected by a special, team. I think.
See, Galera missed a big point. And the point was, why wasn't it found that day? Why did it take a few days to find these basic materials? That's one of the reasons I think she's innocent. There was too many things found days later. How does that even happen? What's this? Oh, we found a shoe days later. It was the front yard. How far do you have to look? So yeah, that's one of the reasons I never believed. And Galera missed that. He shouldn't have missed it.
They collected the evidence. The CERT team
that didn't show up until the next day.
It says located in the morning. The Massachusetts Special Emergency Response Team CERT also found pieces of plastic, 2 red and 1 clear, in the same facility at the body. Items consistent with the broken tail light on Reed's Lexus. The document noted that officials seized the car and found that it had a broken glass embedded in the rear bumper, a deep scratch and a dent on the right side of the rear tailgate, and 2 scratches plus some chips paint on the right side of the rear bumper. And it was the CERT team, the emergency response team. Massachusetts Special Emergency Response Team. And that's what I'm just saying. There's other out there.
But Betty, was it a clear-cut case of what happened, or did they not know? Because remember, they didn't know what happened with him. So like Lara said, it should have been secured, and they should have gone through every little piece. I understand finding a tooth later on.
There's other, I mean, like, you have to think about it too. Like, there's other things
actually his hat was recovered on February 3rd, which is 5 days after the morning of the incident.
Okay.
So his
let me write that down.
February 3rd.
Thank you. No, thank you. I'm writing down February 3rd.
And it was when they went to interview Nicole Albert.
So it was still recovered at the scene.
Right.
Okay.
But why wasn't it recovered the day of?
Because it snowed.
You don't think
you have to wait for snow to melt?
That's how you preserve and investigate a crime scene, is you just wait for snow to melt?
Well, you don't see everything. Do you think they have like a flamethrower to melt all the snow in the backyard? I mean,
no,
like,
actually they used a snowblower. You think that's standard for an investigation?
I mean, they looked for it and they found it. What are you talking about? Eventually, have to wait for.
Wait, why would you use a snowblower in a crime scene? That doesn't make sense. That could blow away evidence, but yet they had glass the next day? That doesn't make sense.
For snow to smelt? Yeah.
5 days later.
How about the black straw and the other shoe being missing?
Ash, you got a big crush on him, don't you? Ooh, Ash is in love with the glare. Woo woo. Yeah, use a snowblower to destroy evidence. I agree.
That's consistent with being.
So you don't find this to be? Oh, hold on a second, because my issue now.
Okay, go for it.
My issue is how the investigation was conducted. Okay.
Okay. You believe chain of custody was broken. That's what your basis of your opinion is.
I'm not saying that I never said that it was broken. I said that the evidence was mishandled.
And how was it mishandled?
Because items of his clothing weren't recovered until 5 days after the actual incident. So that makes me question. That makes me question the integrity of the investigation altogether. That's just a drop in the bucket of the things that make me question the integrity of the investigation.
I don't want to, I'm asking this question so you can deny what my question is. Do you believe that officers came and grabbed his clothes, embedded plastic, and then other pieces of clothes and went back to the scene and buried it in the snow?
I'm saying if I were a juror and a defense attorney presented that and explained to me that it wasn't recovered until 5 days later, then I would have to doubt that it was recovered in a timely fashion. I would have to doubt. I would have to say that there could have been anything. There's 5 days for this. For these pieces of evidence to be tainted in some way, shape.
I mean, the black straw, the broken cocktail glass, the shoe, the phone, all there.
Right. The all recovered late, all recovered way later.
Yeah, it's called investigation.
Why would Michael Proctor not log 5 different searches?
Because
5 different searches. Hold on. Why would Michael Proctor? No, Michael Proctor found these pieces of taillight, some 32 pieces or 34 pieces of taillight. He found them on 5 separate occasions and undocumented searches.
They found more pieces when the snow melted.
What
other officers?
So is that standard? Do you think that that's standard? That
are you a cop?
To investigate? No, but I follow enough cases.
I'm not a cop.
I follow enough cases to
How many years have you been following cases?
At least 5.
Okay, so when you do 20 years, come to me.
So you explain to me any other case, reference any other case where the police waited for snow to melt in investigating the death of a Boston police officer or any police officer anywhere. You explain to me.
Can you reference a case?
No.
Why are you asking me to reference a case like that?
Because you're acting like it's standard operating procedure.
You don't know what what is standard operation procedure for an investigation like this? Tell me.
Well, I mean, I would have to have a police officer up here.
Thank you. So why are you sitting here saying you don't understand? Like this is not standard operation procedure when you don't know?
Because it's fucking plain and simple.
But you
that
don't
there's
know.
no investigation where that has ever happened.
If you're for truth and truth, if you want truth, why don't you invite a Boston police officer, a retired one, to do an interview and discuss?
Doesn't have to be a Boston police officer.
I think that would be very educational to people if you invite in a police officer to talk about procedures.
No, I actually have one lined up.
Good.
I actually have one lined up, but not for today.
I mean, don't you think you're spreading misinformation right now by like not having a Boston police officer and talking about they didn't follow the procedures?
Not even in the slightest bit. No, I'm not spreading misinformation. I'm stating the fact.
But you said you didn't know, but you kept on stating
it took 5 days to recover evidence from a scene. Why wasn't the scene checked?
But you don't know the procedure.
Why wasn't the scene checked?
You don't know the procedure.
I've heard police officers. I've heard Jennifer Coffendorfer herself. Jennifer Coffendorfer herself say that mistakes were made.
That agrees with me. The person that agrees with me that's
right.
Okay.
Right. Let me finish, please.
Okay, I'm gonna deduct a point from B. Tim because he's not letting the Glarus speak. Glarus trying to make points, and B. Tim just keeps talking over him. So I'm gonna deduct a point from B. Tim. So now B. Tim is back to 1. Glarus at 3.5.
Please.
Sure. Sorry about that.
So Jennifer Coffendorfer herself has said that mistakes were made in collecting evidence, such as the red Solo cups from a neighbor to collect blood samples from a scene. That doesn't happen. That's why you have forensic teams, okay, to collect blood samples and preserve the blood samples properly. This is not done by red Solo cups from a neighbor. Okay. Secondly, you do not take a snowblower to blow away the snow, or not even a snowblower, a leaf blower to blow away the snow away from a crime scene, away from evidence. You also tape off the area the day of, which was not done until the next day.
Okay. So how does that go to your
I don't need to be a cop to know that that's standard procedure.
I mean, how do you know?
I just need to have common sense.
Well, common sense is not common, sir. So let's continue. Yeah, it is not. But you haven't explained how the microscopic pieces of the taillight got on his shirt.
I'm not supposed to explain that. The prosecution.
Aren't you spreading misinformation if you don't?
Not at all.
Why hasn't the defense done that?
The defense it's not their job.
The defense, it's not their job to prove how what got on his clothes.
No, it is exactly not their job to do, because the burden of proof is on the prosecution.
Yeah, that's true.
Claire is 100% right. I hate saying that. I'm like cringing that he's now got like 4.5 points and B. Tim's got 1, but he's right. And when you're right, you're right. It's not the defense job to prove it. It's prosecution job to prove it.
Burden of proof is on the prosecution, but they're making this theory that he was beat up.
So you explain to me how the microscopic pieces got.
He got hit by a car.
How exactly? How
he got hit by a car?
Explain to me exactly how those microscopic pieces would actually end
up.
Well,
when it broke, when the taillight broke, it got
what part of his body?
Shirt.
What part of his body?
Shirt. I mean, I'm not. That's what it said on his shirt.
What bone is dense enough to break that taillight in order for them to end up on his shirt?
Bone? We're talking about what are you talking about? This is
that's
science.
Your job. That's right. What's the
Not
science?
my job. I don't work for the police department, sir. Nor the
science that would explain to me the science.
Do you know the science? Why are you asking a question you don't know?
No, I don't know the science.
Then why would you ask a question like that? All I know
is that if that evidence wasn't preserved properly, those pieces of plastic could have gone undisclosed at any given time. Those pieces of plastic had 5 days.
I want to
get 5 days to end up on his clothes.
How do you think he did it? Just jump. Do you think Proctor or an officer came there and sprinkled and embedded fucking plastic onto his club shirt? State it.
I don't know how it ended up there. But I know that I know that I believe that
I told you how
that John O'Keefe was in that house.
Okay, so let's jump to there. I'll jump to there. Okay, we'll jump to that point. Sure. There's another point of contention. You bring up the fact that he went into the house, but the GPS data doesn't show that he went into the house.
It doesn't matter that the GPS data.
What do you mean the GPS data doesn't matter? It's an essential piece of evidence.
Okay, so the way the GPS data works, it does not pinpoint one particular location. It pinpoints
Wrong.
basically that's how it
No,
works.
you're wrong, because
how it
GPS has usually depends on the
Okay, well, Glary gets another point because he's 100% right. GPS does not locate it exactly. It does an area, so he's 100%. I hate saying he's right, guys. This is crazy. I thought B Tim was gonna come in and crush him. Nope, Glare is kind of crushing him, and I don't like the Glare.
signal. And at that time, the signal was like weak, and then it got stronger and stronger, and it went down to 72, a radius of 72 feet that only meets up to the door. And he never moved. He never moved around in the house at that time.
So explain how he went up.
Explain also.
Explain how he went up 3 flights of stairs then.
The problem with that theory is because he was in the car. The ways to say basically said at 12.
Wow, I'd love an SUV with a fucking staircase.
It's not a staircase, sir. It's how they basically presented it. He was in the car because it was impossible for him to go 3 flights of stairs. If the Waze GPS says at 12:20, he was actually looking for the address at Dedham. Okay, it's impossible. So because it takes you 3 minutes to get there. So the time he got there was 12:24 and 24 seconds.
Okay, so do you have an exact time in which he was struck?
I mean, the only thing I can think about, because this one is like a little bit of a theory.
How is this timeline proof that she hit him with the car and that he didn't go up the stairs if you don't have an exact time for when he was struck?
I have a question for you. If we're basing your analysis on the Apple data, why does
There's nothing more annoying in a debate than when somebody answers questions with questions. Every single thing that beats him is asking the Glare is answering to the best of his ability. Every time Glare turns it around and asks B Tim something, B Tim just turns around and asks him a question. It's like, dude, answer. You can't even answer or even formulate an answer. And that's sad.
Why doesn't it show him being taken out of the house and put there at a later time?
Because it's a general vicinity right there.
Wait, whoa.
It's a general vicinity.
You can't pick and choose evidence, sir.
That's how it works.
You can't
That's
pick
how
and
the
choose
data
evidence,
works.
sir. No.
That's how the data works.
If we look at the Apple data, right? We look at the Apple data timeline, right? Does it show that he was put out there anytime after the last ping at 12? Let me see. The Apple data. Let me see. I gotta look to it. Apple Health data. Does it show that he is? Let me see. Sorry for that. Let me give me a moment.
No, please take your time.
No problem. If we look at the Apple data, what's the last time he moves before when they discover him? Which is 12/32/16, right? That's the last time he actually moved. Like that Apple data shows that he's moved, right? And then like before the 6 o'clock in the morning when they found him. So why does it show that he's been taken from the house, right? If you think he went down the basement, right? He went in the house, down the basement. You think Cullen and Brian beat him up with the dog, and then they left him there.
Let me be very clear about something. I do not pretend to know what happened inside that home. I know that people have pretty solid fixated theories as to what happened inside that home. I do not have one.
Okay.
I have always stood on the position that I don't know what happened in that house, but I firmly believe that he was inside that house.
Okay, so he got in the house and somehow he got injured. Can we agree on that? That's what you believe?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay. He walked down the stairs. Do you agree? Do you believe in that?
Yeah, I believe in the Apple Health data. Sure.
Okay. So why doesn't it show that he is moved again from 12:35? I got to look at the time again because my memory's not that great. 12:35. I think that is right. 12:35. Why doesn't it not show that he was moved again and like placed outside?
Because it's never been established who had the phone.
Well, the phone would have to move because it was under him.
Yeah, but who knows? Who knows who put the phone there?
But it would still have to move. It would still have to move from the house to be under him, so it would record the Apple data.
Not if it was turned off.
So you think they turned it off after they beat him up and put it back on under him? But why was it on when he was under him?
I'm exploring possibilities. This is my point. This
Okay.
is my position. I want you to understand something.
Sure.
My position is that if I'm a juror, I have to, and I always look at cases in the perspective of if I'm a juror.
Okay.
I have way too much doubt. If a defense attorney explains to me the same things and asks the questions that I'm asking you, as far as I'm concerned,
Sure.
I'm going to say, well, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
But why?
I have no explanation for that.
Don't you?
There's no explanation.
Do you think he was moved? Another point. I'm a little confused.
So that means that means that I have doubt.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take that. But let me ask you another question. We go with the snowplow guy, right? He says he never saw anyone. He saw a car parked in front of the last location with John O'Keefe was, right? Didn't see anyone there, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was that? 2:15, 2:30? I'm trying to think. What was it? 2:15?
Explain the Ford Edge that he saw there and
parked
there.
Well, my question, he would have to go around it. How come it's not pushing snow around it? But that's a little story, a little weird. But if he was, that means you're saying that, do you believe that he was moved after that guy passed there?
I believe that he was put outside of the house. He was carried and put outside of the house.
Was he put outside after at 2:30? That's what I'm asking you. Do you believe that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you believe that. Then why did Miss Nagel state that she stated that she saw someone, and that she said Miss Nagel indicated that she thought she saw something she described as a dark object in the snow by the flagpole, but could not determine what it was. And it was 1:30 to 2 a.m.
I'm glad you brought that up.
I'm glad I did bring that up. I want to know the truth.
I'm glad you brought that up, because then you have hold on, let me find it.
You have her husband who states that he drove by and he didn't see anyone next door. I know you're talking about. I absolutely know.
No. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about her brother's statement, which I'm trying to find because I'd prefer to read it.
Sure, I'll wait for it. Thank you.
I'd prefer to read it, but there's a lot.
I'll wait. I'll wait.
Give me 1 second here.
But how do you explain her seeing something, alleging that she saw something? Do you think she's part of the conspiracy, or do you think she just missaw something?
I don't know. That I don't know, because her brother's statement absolutely contradicts this. And I'll try to get to the meat and potatoes of the statement here. So
sure, I'll take your time, man. No problem.
I've got it pulled up, so it won't take me long.
Thank you.
Give me 1 second.
And if you could tell me which statement you're pulling up, so I can pull it up myself.
I'm pulling up here.
If there were debates like this in every case, I swear to you, that's all I would do is cover these debates. I love this kind of stuff. I don't know about you guys, but I love it. I would do reaction videos to debates all day, every day.
What I'll do is, hold on. Oh, no. Hold on. Give me 1 second here. Refresh that and give me 1 second here. Let me,
Sure.
Here we go. I'm sharing the link with you directly to that statement in the private chat, so you can pull that right up.
Let me see. All right, let me see now. Okay. Give me 1 moment.
Yeah, you're good. So I'm going to start at number 3 when you pull that up.
I already pulled it up. I'm reading right now.
Okay, so Ryan confirmed that he was contacted by Julie, his sister, requesting a ride home. At the time, Ryan was with his friend Richie D'Antuno, who was driving his gray in-color Ford F-150 pickup truck with Ryan seated in the front passenger seat, and Ryan's girlfriend, Heather Maxon, seated in the back passenger compartment. Ryan recalls Richie driving down.
Maybe we should just look for random debates on YouTube, and then I'll do reaction videos to all of them. That might be fun.
Cedar Crest Road from the direction of the Kennedy Elementary School. As the F-150 approached Fairview, Ryan remembers seeing a set of headlights of a mid-sized black SUV coming from the opposite direction of Cedar Crest, which obviously would be Karen Reed's SUV.
Yeah, agreed.
Subsequently, Richie yielded to the vehicle, allowing it to make the right-hand turn onto Fairview as their F-150 then followed, making a left-hand turn onto Fairview. Ryan told us that Richie stopped the F-150 directly in front of the driveway belonging to 34 Fairview and remembers the black SUV stopping along the right-hand curb towards the left side of the property as you look at the house from the street. This is very specific here.
Yeah, sure.
You got to admit, it's a very detailed statement, and it gets more detailed, which is why I find this very credible. When asked, Ryan stated he did not observe any erratic operation by the SUV as it turned from Cedar Crest onto Fairview or at any point while in his presence. Ryan went on to say that their F-150 remained in front of the home for a period of time that was no longer than 5 minutes, at which time his sister Julie came out of the home and asked if the three of them would like to come inside. Yeah. Ryan refused the invite, and Julie stated that she wanted to stay a while longer.
With snow on the ground, sweet one, you can't forget the snow, which snow will break your fall as well.
And would most likely spend the night at 34 Fairview. Upon conclusion, this is where it gets important. Upon conclusion of their conversation, Julie returned back inside the home, and Ryan noticed that the SUV pulled up a few feet to the far edge of the property line between 34 and the neighboring property where the flagpole was located along with some bushes. Ryan stated that the SUV's driver did not appear to place the vehicle into park as the rear brake lights were illuminated. Okay, this is important.
Yeah.
The rear brake lights were illuminated to include the third top center light at the initial positioning and after it had pulled up. Trooper Proctor asked Ryan if at any point he heard screams, yelling, or any noise coming from the black SUV while he was on Fairview, to which he stated no. Ryan added that as Richie pulled away, because he wasn't driving, so he was able to focus. He was sitting in the passenger seat, and he was sitting parallel, like he was the closest to the SUV.
Yes. Okay.
In the vehicle. So he had no obstruction of vision here. Okay.
Sure.
So he stated no. Ryan added that as Richie pulled away from 34 Fairview, their F-150 drove past the black SUV, at which time Ryan observed the interior light on and a Caucasian female operator seated inside the vehicle holding the steering wheel at the 10 and 2 looking straight ahead of her.
What time is this? Because this would be right when they arrive, right?
This would be when this would be, yeah. He arrived at the same time as
so you were stating like from, let's say, 5 minutes.
He would have arrived pretty much at the same time that Karen did.
So probably like 12 let me see from the green report. Probably like 24 seconds. So 5 minutes from that, or 3 minutes?
I'm just trying to see on the document if there's an exact time.
It's not. They don't show an exact time.
They don't.
It's not that detailed, is it?
Well, no. That's
kind of important. If the guy, you know.
Oh no, I agree with you. I'm saying that's for the investigator to ask. Is it not? That's on the investigator, right?
That's kind of important for the defense too.
It's important for the prosecution
too, for sure. I mean, like, but my thought process is that she hit him probably around 12:35 to 12:40, 12:35 or 2.
Well, this is a moot point because
not really.
I'll explain. Let me continue reading.
Go for it. Go for it.
So, at which time Ryan observed the interior light on and a Caucasian female operator seated inside the vehicle holding the steering wheel at a 10 and 2 looking straight ahead of her. Ryan told us that he did not see anyone else inside the passenger compartment during his brief observations of the SUV as they drove by it. Ryan did not see the SUV leave and did not note any damage to the vehicle as he remembers. This is extremely important.
Yes.
So
But my thought process
when
is
asked
that
Ryan stated that it had just started snowing approximately half an hour prior to there was a coating of snow on the ground while present in the area of Cedar Crest and Fairview. So here's my point.
Okay, go
Here's
for
my
it.
point. My point of this is if Ryan Nagel pulled up from behind in the F-150 to Karen Reed's car and did not see any damage to any of to the vehicle at all, including her lights, no damage, no damage. All of the lights were illuminated, right? So all of her lights were illuminated, and he drives past and sees that she's alone in the vehicle. So if he's alone in the if she's alone in the vehicle, and there's no damage to the back of the SUV, she had to have already hit him. But if she broke her taillight hitting him, why was there no damage to the taillight?
Because she didn't hit him at that point.
So
Because she hit him. Wait.
The only places that the only two places that John O'Keefe could have possibly been would have been inside the vehicle, which Ryan Nagel states that she was not, or lying in the driveway, or lying in the grass, or inside the home.
Or he just passed by and didn't see him, and she didn't hit him yet. She didn't hit him yet. She hit him after the guy passed her. Because
or Ryan is the one that hit him. And that's the one piece of this that everybody forgets. Everybody assumes that it was her that hit him. We don't know if somebody else came. We don't know if he was standing outside calling her like, bitch, where'd you go? Come back and get me. And someone else came and hit him. I don't know why nobody talks about that, because that has been my thought. That, okay, they say he was hit by a car. Did anyone ever think that it was somebody that came after? It was a party. Very easily could somebody have come after and hit him, and then she got the blame. But I don't hear anyone talking about that.
Because the last time.
So why didn't she see him? Why didn't
she pass by? It was really dark. It's a blizzard, and he probably didn't.
It's not a blizzard. He said it just started snowing.
It's just started snowing.
Just started snowing.
And it's dark. What time is it on that time when he passed by? Because that's very important. We're talking about details. What time did he arrive? How long did he stay? A lot of times witnesses will overestimate the time that they're there.
This guy, you're telling me that this guy could see that she had her hands at a 10-2 position on the steering wheel. He had all of this detail, could see that there was no damage to the back of the truck, and didn't see a 6-foot man.
Yes, but Denise, they didn't find her taillights for like days later. Well, and when she passed by a cat, Deeds, help me with this because I don't remember it all that well, but the taillight was fine in the morning. It was only, and that was on camera. But then the taillight was found, or like she was on camera breaking it or something. I forgot exactly what it was, but it was something like that.
And standing with a gray shirt near the vehicle?
Yeah.
You're going to tell me he just didn't see it?
Yeah. It happens all the time. Yeah. Just like how the snowplow guy didn't see him. And also, John, the last time the actual Apple data shows that he moved was, what is it? 12:32:16. So if, let's say he spent, I think he overestimated his time 5 minutes, because I've noticed with a lot of witnesses, like they'll be like, well, the accident happened a minute, or the accident happened in 30, you know what I mean? But it's actually like 20 seconds. So he could have been there a shorter time than 5 minutes. But with my theory is that she probably hit him after the guy left. That's pretty much it. That's my thought process. I think the snowplow guy
is the
snow on the other side where he couldn't see him.
On the other side where he couldn't see.
I'm giving you explanations. You just say, I don't know. That's up to someone else.
Couldn't see a 6-foot man standing. His head would clear the vehicle. He passed right behind. He got right behind her. He was right behind her.
Asymmetrical position. An asymmetrical
He was
position.
Directly behind her. He was directly behind her vehicle.
How do you know that?
There's no way he would not have seen somebody standing outside her vehicle.
That's your thought process. Maybe you missed her. Why is it that there's conflicting witness testimony? Why is it that this guy states that there's a car there?
That's exactly a great point.
That is a great point.
Why is there conflicting witness testimony?
Yeah, your own client. Oh, not a client. Karen Reed's got conflicting testimony. She changed the story 3 times.
No, she has no witnesses.
She is her own witness. She is her own witness. She basically testified
and got wedgies all day, Crystal.
Originally, during the call to Miss McCabe, she initially last remembered seeing the victim at the waterfall, and when informed by Miss
thank you, Tanya. Have a good night.
McCabe, that she had seen the victim and defendant leaving the waterfall. When she was confronted with that, using her nieces, and the niece also said she had conflicting, like where her O'Keefe was. She had a conflicting story with that. And
why would the niece? Why would the niece know where John was?
Because the niece was using the niece's phone in the room. She was listening to like Karen Reed talk.
Right,
she's one of the witnesses.
Why would she know where John was?
No, what happened is that she uses the niece's phone, right? She goes in the room and she calls up Miss McCabe. She tells Miss McCabe she remembers last seeing him in the waterfall.
According to Miss McCabe.
Well, according to also the girl that might testify as well. Well, we'll see.
Have you seen a statement from a minor?
I've seen the statement. I did actually see that there was a statement from her that basically said that her story was inconsistent.
Okay, wait. So
yeah,
you saw a statement from a child in these documents. Could you reference that document to me, please?
Sure, I gotta find it. Give me a moment.
If B-Tim produces, I'll give him a point.
Let me see.
Right now, Blair is winning.
I'm gonna find it.
Right now, I got Glera at 6.5, and B-Tim at 3.
I know. I mean, but I want to give him an opportunity to find this document that we all know that the laws prohibit such a document to be public because this child is a minor.
Okay, it says here on page 22.
Could you share the link in the private chat for me, please?
Sure, because they use initials, so I'm assuming that they talk to her here. Give me a moment. Give me a second. I'm sorry for the wait. The Streetmar links. Here you go.
Oh, I got 2 pots of coffee, dude. I got 1 in a thermos. I'm ready to go, homie. We're good.
On February, I think on page 22 of that document, and it says here, let me see. On February 22nd, both the 10-year-old nephew, CF, and the 14-year-old niece, KF, of the victim were interviewed at New Fork Advocates for Children Center.
Wait. You said page 22?
Yeah, 22.
All right, let me get there real quick. I'm almost there. Oh,
they interviewed him.
What the hell just happened? Okay, hold on.
It says starts at February 22nd on both the 10-year-old nephew and CF.
Okay.
And they use initials because they're children, obviously. They're not going to put their real names on there because when you're under the age of 18. It says, you can read it. I mean, on February 22nd, both the 10-year-old nephew and CF and the 14-year-old niece, KF, of the victim were interviewed in New Fork Advocates for Children Center in Foxborough, Massachusetts. The children indicated that they had lived with their uncle, the victim, for approximately 8 years following the passing of both of their parents. Both children indicated that the victim and defendant had started dating approximately 2 years ago. After having dated for some time before the distant past, they both indicated that the defendant would stay over their house, Meadow Avenue, several nights a day. PF stated that the defendant and victim argued a decent amount of time. PF recalled a recent argument over groceries and the victim expressing a needing a break from the defendant. After this particular argument, the victim wanted the defendant to leave their house. However, she refused. PF indicated that he had left the home on January 20th, approximately 8 p.m. for a sleepover at a friend's house, and it was not present at the home overnight. PF indicated that neither he nor his sister had access to the Ring system, but believed the defendant did from the family computer within the home. Because remember, it was deleted, the actual pulling in, and only the front was there.
Sure.
KF indicated that during her interview that the defendant and the victim had argued a lot towards the end, approximately 2 to 3 times a week. She further stated approximately a week prior to January 29th, she was sitting on the stairway inside the house while the victim and defendant were arguing. KF stated that she heard the victim tell the defendant that their relationship had run its course and that it isn't healthy. She stated that the defendant did not want the relationship to end and refused to leave their house. KF stated that she had gone to bed approximately 11 p.m. on January 28th after the friend had left and was awoken by the defendant approximately 4:30 a.m. with the defendant screaming and acting frantic. The defendant ran into the victim's bedroom to retrieve KF's cell phone. KF then began texting and calling the victim with response. The defendant then had KF call Ms. McCabe and put the defendant on the phone with her. After speaking with Ms. McCabe, the defendant left the house and told KF to come.
All right, B. Tim's boring me, but I want you guys to think about this while we're listening to him read. I have thought about this multiple times. Who's to say? Now, think if you're in this position. He's fighting with Karen. Him and Karen have a fight. He gets out of the car. He's about to go in the house and she takes off. He's like, what the fuck? This bitch just left me. He's drunk. She's drunk. He decides to call her. He keeps calling her. She's not answering. At the same time, somebody else comes. He walks over to the driveway or whatever. Someone pulls in, doesn't see him because they're not expecting somebody to be standing there. And boom, he gets hit. He goes flying to the lawn. Why isn't that a possible scenario? The guy, he could have been turned around. They could have turned him around to make it look like, you know, he was hit a different way or whatever. But I really don't know why nobody else has talked about this. I have not heard this theory from anybody. And I'm shocked that nobody has thought of this theory. But I truly believe that that is an absolute possibility of what happened. Just thinking, of course he's going to try to call her. Of course he's going to be like, this bitch just fucking left me. And maybe standing outside calling. Maybe thinking that this other car that's pulling up was her. Or the guy was on the phone, the guy was doing something, whatever, you know, the driver of the other car, and all of a sudden hits him, doesn't realize he hit him. He goes flying. That's where the bruises came from. That's where some of the other things came from. Oh, people have talked about it? No, I don't think he was too close. I don't think it was the plow at all. But, and then that guy took off and she gets the blame and the people in the house really know nothing. I've thought of this, but like I said, I haven't heard anyone talk about it.
We know to come and pick up her. KF's indicated to her in the interview that the defendant changed her story several times while speaking to Ms. McCabe on the phone, with initially the defendant stating that she and the victim got into an argument and she dropped him off. So, what, she changed her story multiple times, and do you think the nephew's also into the conspiracy too?
No, that's what I'm saying is this doesn't say anything other than they argued a lot.
And they changed the story several times. She said, stating that she and the victim got into an argument and changed her story several times during when she was talking to her. When she was talking to Ms. McCabe. She corroborates what Ms. McCabe says, that she initially lied to Ms. McCabe to try to cover her tracks or she forgot. She was so drunk because she had like a fucking huge blood alcohol level at the time. And then she was reminded,
we know that they argued, though. I mean, but I don't understand what this supposedly proves.
That she initially lied to her friend to cover her tracks. That she tried to state that they were at the bar.
You're adding that she lied to cover her tracks.
Or she forgot. Or she forgot.
It says that she changed her story numerous times.
I mean, what do you think of a witness that changes their story multiple times? Do you need to have a memory to have do you need to have a good memory to tell the truth?
What I'm saying,
the answer is no.
You're gonna answer for me now?
That's the answer.
No, it's not. Because what I'm saying here is, how do you know the circumstances in which this is a third party saying this is what this person indicated to me. Someone who indicated to me, somebody who has repeatedly collected evidence in a very questionable way is stating what a child said that they
That's
the
not
defendant.
Proctor. That's
that
not
the-
Proctor collecting the statement, sir.
Well, I mean, it could. I mean, any of the detectives.
It's a child, sir. It's another service for children. It's the New Fork Advocate for Children Center in Salisbury, Massachusetts. It's not Mr. Proctor collecting the statement.
Who wrote this statement here?
That's the statement that they got. The person who interviewed that New Fork Advocate for Children Center in Salisbury, Massachusetts. They're the one that got the statement, and he wrote it down. What they copied, whoever they did. So unless you this is what the kids said. The kids said that initially she kept on changing her story. She changed her story.
No. Scroll to the bottom. It says respectfully submitted for the Commonwealth, Michael Morrissey by Adam Lally.
The interview was done by
who?
By the advocates for.
Why is B. Tim putting so much weight into a kid's testimony? Like, seriously, he's putting way too much weight in what a kid said.
For Children's Center in Foxbury, Massachusetts. They were interviewed by them. So are you saying that they're part of the conspiracy now? The lady changed her story. Then she changed her story again.
It doesn't say that anywhere here.
It says it on the top. It says here on February 22nd, both the 10-year-old nephew and CF and the 14-year-old niece KF of the victim were interviewed at the New Fork Advocate for Children for Children's Center in Frostburg, Massachusetts.
By who?
By probably an advocate.
By probably an advocate, or by the TA, by Lally.
So you think they're just you think he's just making this kid's being forced to testify to fake information?
No, I'm saying, who the fuck knows who talked to the kid, or if the kid even talked.
Is this a debate about facts, man? Because I put a lot of facts, and you keep on saying, I don't know, I don't remember.
If you can't share with me a name, if I'm a defense attorney, I'm going to go, okay, well, who conducted this interview?
Well, that's going to be for trial. I can't give you names of like children advocates. I'm sorry.
So it's not evidence.
It is evidence in the document. It's like it's going to be evidence.
No, it's not. It doesn't prove anything.
Come on.
It doesn't prove anything.
Come on.
No, clearly it doesn't.
Okay.
There's nobody's name signed except
that's the first change of story. Then she changes the story that she dropped him off and didn't look at him when he walked in the room because her stomach hurt. And then when she was on Dateline, she changed the story again that she said she saw him go in the house. She changed her story 3 times, sir. 3.
Dude, she was drinking. She's frantic. She's screaming and yelling. She was fighting with him.
Oh my God. Like, if this was your client,
that doesn't prove murder.
That proves inconsistency.
How does that prove?
That proves. I mean, like, you're sitting here, you're analyzing witness statements and how they're inconsistent with this one and that one, but their own person can't keep her story straight.
But that's my point. Is if you're going to prove that she's suspicious because she can't keep her story straight, then why is everyone else's stories inconsistent? Why is everyone else?
3 people. I don't believe that the whole snowplow person, because that story doesn't make any sense.
Okay, Galaris smokes way too much. This is like his 5th cigarette. But I want to make a point that it's so frustrating to me when I keep hearing this, and I hear it from B. Tim a lot. When there is a conspiracy, when there is a cover-up, when there is the police involved as part of this cover-up, every single line, every single T is going to be crossed and every single I is going to be dotted. So I don't know why people like B. Tim keeps falling into this trap of he doesn't really, well, this was placed here or this looked like this or that. Of course it's going to look like that because the police probably planted it to look like that. And he's not the only one, though, Scorpio. A lot of people fall into that category. And then if you say conspiracy or if it's a cover-up, they think everybody's involved. And that's just not true.
Okay. And they have to look for that guy. Okay. I don't believe
that.
So
when was this interview conducted by the Commonwealth's memorandum? When was this interview conducted?
When was the interview conducted?
Right.
Let me look for the date. It says February 22nd on the thing, on the
So-
first line.
Okay.
Why are you asking me
So-
silly questions?
It's not a silly question.
It's on the
absolutely
first
valid.
line.
It's valid. It's absolutely valid. So why February 22nd? You're going to tell me that a child on February 22nd is going to have this vivid memory,
Oh my God.
and you're going to tell me that this child had no contact with anyone, with no officers. We don't know in what kind of questions this child was asked and what manner the child was asked these questions.
Oh my God.
I mean, we have no idea.
So the cops planted the plastic.
I'm saying we don't know if the cops
they're telling the
if
children
they had
what to
bagged,
do.
if they had bagged the evidence properly in the first place and
Carrie-
collected it in a timely manner, I wouldn't
Carrie
be
can't
asking
get her
the
story
question.
straight. She
I
can't get
wouldn't
her
be
story straight. And
I wouldn't be asking the question. I wouldn't
Okay.
be asking the question if the police had actually conducted their investigation in a standard way, which is
Okay, that's
collecting
your
evidence
answer.
with gloves, putting it in a bag,
That's your question.
and
Answer. Okay.
not leaving it on the floor with items unaccounted for.
I'm sure. Okay.
So explain to me how that's proof.
What's proof? What's your question?
If the suspicion is that that the DA has greenlit an investigation that was conducted nefariously or
Why is it nefarious?
negligently, right? If the DA greenlit this investigation to take place this way, then it is on the DA to prove whether or not
What?
Karen Reed is actually guilty.
They are. They go into trial. That's the whole point of the trial, to prove she's guilty.
But what I'm saying is how can they go to a jury with
what?
clothing,
With evidence?
with evidence that was collected, in questionable manners, where that evidence could have easily been tainted within 5 days. 5 days.
Wait.
Could have been tainted.
Wait a minute.
Pictures of his clothing. Pictures of his clothing laying on the floor.
Wait a minute.
Pictures of his clothing laying on the floor.
I mean, are you saying that they're basically like that? How about the glass embedded in the bumper? That cocktail glass embedded in the bumper. Is that also part of the conspiracy that they just smashed that in?
Give me 1 second here.
I need to know. I mean, it says here the black SUV was seized from the driveway of the defendant's parents here in Digton on January 29th. The vehicle was then transported via tow to the Canton Police Department on February 1st. Members of the Massachusetts State Police Crime Scene Service Section, a crime lab chemist, a trooper, Joseph Paul of the Massachusetts State Police Collision Analysis and Reconstruction Section, CARS, responded to the department. They observed fragments of broken glass on the rear bumper of the vehicle. The rear right passenger side taillight was shattered, and pieces were observed missing from the red and clear areas. On the right side of the rear taillight, a deep scratch and minor dents were observed. On the right side of the rear bumper, above a small red light, 2 scratches were observed, as well as one area where the paint was chipped off. Troopers from the CARS unit performed a rapid acceleration forward and reverse tests with the vehicle and noted no deficiencies with the vehicle braking system or other operations. The trooper placed a training figure resembling a human approximately 6 feet in height and behind the Lexus. The vehicle was operated by CARS. I mean, are you stating that there is they busted the glass, like CARS is also part of the conspiracy, that they, embedded cocktail glass in the background, a human hair on the back that they're still waiting to be announced?
Sure.
Oh my God.
If there is a cover up and if someone else is guilty, then they absolutely could have done whatever they needed to do to prove it. Now, again, if my theory is right, that somebody from the outside hit him, I don't know how many people would even know. Maybe none of them know. Maybe only the person that hit him knows that they're the ones that actually hit him, and everybody else believes that they didn't hit him and that everyone else believes that it was Karen. Then nobody's in a conspiracy except that one person, and that one person could have planted all the evidence. Who knows? I mean, if you're up for murder and you know that you could go to jail, why not plant it on someone else?
Why not?
Is this a debate? I mean, is there any point? Like, you're not even like,
Well,
this is
no, what
evidence.
hold on. I'm looking for, explain to me why the tow truck driver says that there was no damage to the vehicle when he took it off the property, or when he took it off of Karen Reed's property.
All right, show me the
Explain
document.
to me that.
Show me the
Hold on.
document.
I'm looking for the recording.
Thank you.
I'm looking for, there's a recorded phone call of this.
A phone call. Is it a document or a phone call? Who collected this phone call?
It's a recorded phone call.
Who collected the phone call?
Hold on.
I'm going to play your games. Who collected the phone call? Maybe it's a conspiracy. I mean, like, come on.
Could be. Could be.
God.
But what I'm saying is the fact that the phone call exists creates doubt. Right? Does it not?
I gotta listen to the phone call to see if I have doubts, sir.
Well, I gotta find it. It's in a long
I didn't see this phone call. This is a pretty important detail.
I don't see this case being thrown out before a trial.
I like to say.
No, I agree. It's a very important detail.
Very important detail, because this guy's going to be called as a witness. Absolutely 100%. Because if he's going to sign a memorandum that said he didn't see any damage from the tow truck, he's basically accusing people of breaking it. But even if he did that, that doesn't explain it to be even in the scene. How did that glass come from the house of Karen Reed to the location before he even, like, when he was taken already? Why was the same glass, like, embedded, like the same plastic stuff embedded in his? I mean, like, and your only conclusion is basically, well, they just eventually just took it and planted it later. Well, that's and you have no basis of fact to connect that. You have no evidence to connect that. This is pure speculation. This is pure, like, theories. Like, this is just not even theories. This is speculation at this point.
Right.
I couldn't even say hypothesis at this point.
The defense has the luxury of speculation.
Do you?
Hey, policeman, what are they going to do? Arrest you after they tell you? You take it. You're getting paid, right?
Yeah, I told it right to the police station, though. I didn't tell it to my shop or nothing.
No.
From that house right to Canton, and they were with me the whole time.
Nice. Wow. But no damage on the car.
There's more to that story than what they're saying, because I don't see how they're saying what, she backed into him or something?
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously, but and even if she did, with the window, the back brake mirror break, probably not.
I didn't see no damage on it.
No, you guys inspect them like rent-a-car companies. You guys.
If there was any damage on that car, they would have took pictures of that car in the driveway before anything.
Amen. Yeah. Hey, right? This is great.
If you go to any kind of scene and there's a car there that's got damage, they should be able to put those pictures of that car in her mother's driveway with the snow on the ground, because it was snowing like hell that day.
Yeah.
They should have pictures of that.
I'm glad you're on my show.
I didn't see no damage on that car.
No, but Manny calls you, hey, grab a car from the auction. You look around, see what it's got on it. That way, when Manny yells at you and says, hey, you got a dent, what do you tell him?
So, are we done?
If it had a lot of damage,
hey, you would have a picture of that.
No, I'm not done.
Right.
I'm waiting for the recording.
If you saw a dent on a car you were towing, you would not take a picture?
What's that?
If you would call to tow a car, you would, if you saw a dent or any damage, you would take a picture, right?
Me to tow it, and they were there. I didn't know anything about the case or anything, and then I found out later about it. I saw it on the news.
Well, state policeman says, hey, tow this car, the diamond towing, tow this car, you want their business, but you're going to take it. The state policeman, what are they going to do, arrest you after they tell you? You take it. You're getting paid, right?
Yeah, I told it right to the police station, though. I didn't tell it to my shop or nothing. And
No.
then from that house right to Canton, and they were with me the whole time.
Nice.
The key in that, they towed it right to the police station. There is your cover up. Very easy once it's in police custody to do whatever they need to do to the car. Because again, the tow truck driver said it didn't go to him. It didn't go to his shop. It went right to the police department. Right there, the police could have done something. Because again, he said there was no damage. You tow a car from the back, he would have noticed something.
Wow. But no damage on the
I
car.
think there's more to that story than what they're saying, because I don't see how they're saying what, she backed into him or something?
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, obviously, you know. But and
Who is this guy? Is he a witness? Is this just for a YouTube clout? I mean, like, I don't, this is just a rando that you grabbed by some YouTuber called up, and he could
Is B. Tim joking? He doesn't believe that's real?
be lying. Where's his signed affidavit? Why is the defense not going up to this guy? Where's the I like to see it.
Here's the SUV being towed from the house.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the taillights intact.
I don't see the tail light. I only see
You
one
can see
side.
it. You can see it.
I only see
right
one
there.
side. I only see one
It's
side.
intact.
There's two sides.
I mean,
And it's
I don't
not a
know
good
what else
photo.
you
It's not a good photo, bro.
but see, here's the thing: is if I was a defense attorney and presented this, and I was, you know what I mean, and you were a juror, you'd have to go, okay, well, I don't know. That's
Your theory is that the cops.
I don't have a theory.
Then what the hell are you doing here? I mean, you don't have a theory?
Of course not. Of course not. I don't have a theory. I have a theory that all I have is a theory that that I don't have a theory. I have proof that this investigation was conducted in at least a negligent manner. And that there was way too many mistakes made in this investigation.
No, there's more than mistakes, because you're implying that the cops are implanting evidence. That's not a mistake, sir. That is a cover-up. Can you actually state like what your opinions are instead of like?
You're sitting here saying that this stuff, unless it's in a document, that it's not proof.
It has to be a sworn statement. This guy has to testify. He can't just have a YouTuber call him up and say, "Hey, I got some information here."
Hold on. So explain to me why the defense presented the facts that Turtle Boy's investigations
The defense
uncovered. Yes, two hearings ago, the defense presented evidence that the Proctors and
Okay, so that's my question too. I haven't followed this case in a while. Are they saying the right side is the one that's broken or the left side? Because we can't see the left side. So we don't know if the left side is broken. But are they saying the right side is the one that's supposedly broken?
The Proctors and the McCabe's were personally involved. Come on, buddy.
Clever's not liking this.
No, Clever's.
Okay, then the Glarus should have said that, because I understand where B. Tim was coming from, that, you know, all you see is one light. Yes, we are looking at the passenger side, unless the car is backwards, but you wouldn't have that light. So yeah, you can clearly see the light is intact. I agree with that.
It's just a puppy that wants to chew on everything. Stop, buddy. Come on. Clever, please. Here. Hold on. Actually, I can fix this right now. Give me 1 second. Go ahead.
No problem. How you doing, guys? Hopefully the dog is not causing any trouble for Mr. Glare. Hopefully he will be back soon. Though we will see. I'm kind of shocked he let me just sit on this. He probably trusts me, so I'm glad he trusts me not to say anything stupid.
I have no reason not to trust you, B.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything stupid. Yeah, you're talking about Albert's relation, the photos, the Facebook photos, basically. That's what you're basically talking about?
Yeah, I mean, if the defense is submitting these things as evidence to defend their client, well, it's got to be true, right? Now, let's also.
I mean, isn't the fact that he's Brian Albert's brother's wife's sister's friends? I mean, like they're like friends with Proctor's sister. Like they're like really far distance. I remember I saw on court TV with Coffendorfer explaining the relationship 9 days ago. It's a pretty distant relationship. I don't even think there's blood relations at all or a familiar relation. This like it
has to be a blood. It has to be a blood relation.
I mean, if I'm going to go to jail for you for 20 years, yeah, I probably would not need to be related to you or be really good friends with you. I'm not going to jail for you.
Well, hold on a second.
I mean, wife's sisters was friends with Proctor's. I mean, like brother's wife's sister was friends with Proctor's sister, and he's gonna commit like perjury and planting evidence and go to jail.
The DA
That's pretty crazy.
The DA himself lied.
Oh, well, I don't think the DA lied. The DA won't lie because that would be a breaking of the actual rules of ethics. He probably didn't know. It's so distant. It's like ridiculous. It's like what? Brother's wife's sister's friends with Proctor's sister. I mean, oh my God, the guy met him like what? How many years ago was that photo? I mean, and he's gonna plant evidence.
Let's listen to this.
Cool.
Oh, hold on. I gotta unmute it here. My bad.
No problem.
There we go.
This will be the first statement of its kind in my dozen years as Norfolk District Attorney. The harassment of witnesses in the murder prosecution of Karen Reed is absolutely baseless. Should be an outrage to any decent person, and it needs to stop. Innuendo is not evidence. False narratives are not evidence.
I mean, I agree with this guy so far.
The show is that John O'Keefe never entered the home at 34 Fairview Road in Canton the night he died.
I agree.
Location data from his phone recovered from the lawn beneath his body.
Of course you agree. He's the DA.
I agree with him. So that's how this is refuting me.
11 people have given statements that they did not see John O'Keefe enter the home at 34 Fairview that night.
Here, let me get to the
join in or taken in by a vast conspiracy should be seen for what it is, completely contrary to the evidence and a desperate attempt to reassign guilt.
Sounds like a smart guy.
I know you do.
100% agree with this guy.
State police trooper being accused of planting evidence outside 34 Fairview Road was never at Fairview Road on the day of the incident. Proctor and his state police partner traveled together the entire day while other officers were processing 34 Fairview. Trooper Proctor was not there and did not plant evidence at 34 Fairview Road. In addition to having no opportunity to plant the evidence, as has been suggested.
Listen up here.
Proctor would have no motive to do so. Trooper Proctor had no close personal relationship with any of the parties involved in the investigation. Close personal relationship with any of the parties involved in the investigation. No close personal relationship with any of the parties involved in the investigation and had no conflict. And he had no reason to step out of this investigation.
That is a blatant fucking lie.
Oh, it says
that is a blatant
Brian
fucking
Albert,
lie. Now,
brother's wife, sister's friends with Proctor's sister. That is not a close relationship. That's the sister being friend. I mean, like, that's not a close relationship. You're acting like this is like close, like your family. I don't think they're close.
Dude, you don't think they're that close, huh? Okay, hold on.
Yeah, you got the photo of him at the being at the marriage, basically. So,
I mean, dude,
I don't think that's close. That's not close to me.
My world.
I mean, how many marriages have you got? I mean, like,
look, Karen Proctor, the Proctor's second family. The Proctor's second family. That's not close? How is that not close, dude? How is that not close?
I don't consider it close.
It's right there. What are you talking about? Second family. How is that not close? It doesn't get any closer than that.
Doesn't get any closer
Except for
than that?
blood. Except for blood.
I mean, I don't consider that close, and I don't believe that guy lied. I mean, just like you say, I don't know. I think the cops planted it. I mean, like,
dude, and the defense plans on proving this.
sure. And what are they planning on proving?
Find it.
That Proctor plant. You think that the defense is going to bring Jen McCabe up and then prove that she's some sort of evil sociopathic person that went home and plotted, like, researched ways to have.
Why did she delete all of the calls from her from her phone?
Because
and all of the texts.
Routine. I mean, like,
that's normal routine.
Mm-hmm. Why did Karen Reed delete all her phone calls? Why did Karen Reed delete her 2 cell phone data and waited 40 minutes before handing it?
Show me a document that says that she did that.
Oh, well, it's a news report. It's from Twitter. Just like you went on TikTok to pull up that video.
Who wrote that news report and posted it on Twitter exactly?
Grant Elliott. It's great news reporter. Great news reporter. What's so funny? Great news reporter. Better than Turtle Boy.
Where did Grant get that information exactly?
From a source. That's what he claimed.
Okay. Right. Great.
Okay.
So Grant also thinks that attorney-client privilege isn't a thing. Grant also thinks that a lawyer cannot knowingly have a lawyer cannot have the information that their client is guilty because it's an ethics violation. He believes that. He said that out loud.
Wrong. He's wrong. I know he's wrong.
One. Right.
I know that. I mean,
do
you agree with everything Turtle Boy says?
He's such a great investigator.
Do you agree with everything Turtle Boy says?
Everything that Turtle Boy has provided proof of, yeah.
Oh, do you agree with everything he says?
No, of course not.
Okay, then that's the same with me.
Of course.
So why are you holding me to a higher standard?
But the thing is Turtle Boy has actually shown evidence of everything that he stated, but has differentiated his opinion from
let's get to the 227. Like
you're saying that Grant is stating this is fact, that Karen Reed wiped both of her phones.
Well, if she did, isn't that incriminating?
Not at all.
Let me just remind everybody that Beats Him believes everything that QB says. Just saying.
Okay, then why are you saying it's incriminating for Jennifer McCabe to do it? Okay, thank you.
No, sorry. I was looking at something.
Okay. I mean, getting help? I don't know. Getting messages?
No, what was your question again? Sorry.
If you think that it's not incriminating to delete your information from a phone that a warrant gives you, then why are you holding the same standard from Jennifer McCabe?
Well, I mean, that's a good point. That's fair. That's fair. But I don't believe that I don't believe Grant's position on that.
I can answer that because one is being charged with the murder and one is a witness. Why would a witness delete all of the info on her phone? Think about it. I can see someone get scared if they're being charged with murder, but I can understand that. But I'm not going to understand a witness who allegedly was at the house. Why would you delete everything? What are you hiding? That's the answer.
Grant has given me no reason to believe that his reporting is accurate.
Same with me with Turtle Boy.
But Turtle Boy provides proof.
Not all the time. He does not provide all the time. He screws up a lot. For instance, the 227 40-second thing is a misinterpretation of the data. I mean, if you read the actual document,
how is it a misinterpretation of the data?
Okay, the file parsed from the basically it's in a temporary file, and basically when they checked it, in addition to that exact same time of 2:27:40 a.m., there is a search located in a knowledge seed database that it was ozonebasketball.com teams. This timestamp is the last interaction of the Sephora tab in the iPhone to search the Ozone Basketball website at 2:27:40 seconds, and not a search of "How's longs to die in cold." This search would have been purged from the WAL file, which is like a temporary file, once the tab was closed because it would have been committed to the database. At the same time period that the defendant highlights Ms. McCabe's cellular phone shows several unrelated searches that conducted and also show deleted from a WAL file for Canton Girls Basketball YouTube music video. The defense expert also located a picture artist.
Blair, I want you to know I have you winning so far at 2, 4, 6, 8. You're at 9.5, and B Tim is at 4.5. So you're kicking butt.
Artifact from Sephora cache records with a URL pertaining to how long does it take to digest food. When the URL is run, it will bring up the image of a person with a plate of food counter before them, cutting up said food.
That's the prosecution's so-called experts take on interpreting.
It makes sense,
right?
I mean, when Karen Reed went there.
You want me to explain to you why it doesn't make sense?
Go for it.
Because now, if you set that precedent, now you're going to have to go back to every other person that was convicted based on Celebrite data being proof. You're gonna have to retry every single person.
If they're wrongfully convicted, why not? I mean, if this is like actually.
Okay. So Brian Walsh, who's actually in the same jail as Turtle Boy right now. Brian Walsh, you know.
I have no idea about the case. I will not comment on cases I have no idea about. Sorry.
Okay, well, Celebrite data dictates that he made all of these insane searches about how long, about how to dispose of a body and so on.
Look it up.
No, okay. I mean, it's not necessary. The point is,
you're bringing it up. I can't look up things I don't have information.
Well, because because I'm making a point. The point is that if they use that as evidence, and you can challenge Celebrite's accuracy and how they assess these Google searches as evidence, well, then you have to reopen every single case that someone was convicted using Celebrite data.
Should people be wrongfully convicted based on faulty evidence?
So now there's this whole new precedent set based on this case, right?
Okay, but it says here that the search was done at 2:27:40, and also it'd make more sense because Jennifer McCabe said, can you check how long it would take to die of cold, when she was basically trying to go. And also the person that brought the blanket to try to save John O'Keefe's life was Jennifer McCabe, and she was the one that called up 911.
1 second. Go ahead and no, go ahead. I have.
B Tim, you have like tunnel vision. If my husband or boyfriend killed someone, I'm gonna bring the blanket. If my husband or boyfriend hit someone or my friend hit someone, I'm going to be the first one there to try to help them. Your whole logic doesn't make sense, B Tim, at all.
I have to show you something, but I have to find it first.
Okay. I mean, do you have an explanation why she was looking up Ozone Park basketball instead? Do you have an explanation for that?
I will in a second.
Good. I'll wait. So, like, according to your theory, you think Jennifer McCabe is some sort of sociopathic, evil, maniacal person that watched her friend. She watched her friend of 8 years, like someone she knew about 8 years, get beat up.
Okay, I'm deducting another point from B Tim for his constant rude interruptions. So now he's down to 4 instead of 5.
Then proceeded to just like go home and research how to kill him, to give ideas. And she never pressed on that tab, by the way. She never pressed on it and did a search, like actually did, like read the articles of how long to die in cold. I mean, you're going to have to bring her on the stand and prove that this woman's a monster. Because anyone that can actually sit in a room.
Gloria, could you come up and play the 911 call? Because I don't think I've heard it. I don't think a lot of us have heard it. Here's a link. Or Deeds, do you have the 911 call? Either or. Friend of 8 years, but on the 911 call, she says there's a guy on the town, same friend. Southern Gal, how are your candles? All right, I'll pin the link and hold on. Whoop. All right. I pinned it, Claire. Guys, hit that thumbs up. Now I lost you guys with super streamouts. All right. You love the bit. See, and I don't even think it smells good, and everyone seems to love it. That's so weird. It smells that good? All right, I'm glad you guys love it.
Room, know someone for 8 years, and then basically like plan out their death, go with a grieving person, carry the supposed grieving person to look for this, look for him, and just that would make you a monster. And why, if her plan was to have him freeze to death, why is she the first one to throw a blanket on him and call 911?
I don't understand why he thinks that's a big deal. It threw a blanket on him because they were part of a cover-up. I mean, possible. I'm not saying they were, but possible.
That makes no sense. Sorry.
She wasn't the first person to throw a blanket on him.
She grabbed the blanket. She grabbed the blanket and put it on him. She was the one that was doing that. Okay.
Now this
she
is
tried
difficult.
to save his life.
This is that's inaccurate. I have a
that's your opinion.
I have a phone call. I have a recording of her 911 call that totally refutes that.
Okay, well played.
So I will in a second.
Okay.
I was looking for the Celebrite data here. Now
I'm reading a document.
This is blurry. This is blurry. Sorry about that. But see on the top here,
a lot of blurry images these days.
It says how's long to die to
this
die.
This is the report from
right?
the defense, correct?
This is the Celebrite data, dude.
Yeah.
This is the Celebrite data.
What is Celebrite data, by the way?
Well, it's a company that is normally used in a lot of different cases. I couldn't explain to you in detail exactly who Celebrite is and what they do, but I know that it's been used in cases in the past, such as the Gannon Stauch, Letitia Stauch trial. So it says here, 129:22, how long to die in cold, 2:27 a.m. All right. Now, explain to me. I
can't see the document. Can you send me this document so I can read it? Because it's so small. Can you make it bigger? You can hit that that plus button.
It gets even more blurry if I do that.
Jesus Christ, man, I can't even read it. Okay, it says so let me see. At 6:23, it says 51. It says how long to die in misspelling that.
Hey, okay, I'm sharing the stream that I played it on. That's the only thing I can share because it's a file that I have. I can't share that. But if you look in the private chat, click on that and I play it repeatedly, actually. So now let me set this up for you real quick.
I don't have anything yet. I don't see anything in private chat. Oh, in the back. All right, I gotcha.
Yeah. So let me set it up for you real quick. Somebody was like, wait, the 911 call is out? No, it is not. What happened was John O'Keefe's phone, she was, okay, when Jen McCabe, Karen Reed, and Carrie went to look for John O'Keefe and then went back to 34 Fairview, they found John laying on the property. At the time, Karen was trying to call John, right, while she was in the car. When she saw John lying on the property, she dropped her phone and jumped out of the car. John's voicemail picked up. and it picked up Jen McCabe calling 911. So that's a recording of John's voicemail picking up Jen McCabe calling 911. So you can't hear the dispatcher. You can only hear Jen McCabe.
Okay. What time does it come on? What time do you play it?
Oh, I just kind of threw. Okay, hold on. Let me see
The
here.
3-hour live.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wait.
yeah. No. You're right. You're
I
right.
think I found it.
Get
Is
to
it is it like a 4-minute?
18. Hold on.
Does it have like a thing backwards on the side?
1920.
Yeah, I got it. Okay. All right. Let's switch.
Let me see real quick. I think I've got this. I think I got this, folks. Now, this is the first time I'm hearing it, mind you.
Oh, you mean when you played it?
Yeah. Right. I somebody had just sent it to me right then and there.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay.
All right.
All right, here we go. Can you guys hear that okay?
Yes, I need somebody from 34 Fairview Road, Vietnam. There's a man passed out in the snow.
Okay. Can you hit pause for a second?
Yeah, I don't know why it's
Okay, so right there, that's very suspicious because Jen McCabe says that there's a man passed out in the snow. She is the only one out of the group of people in that house that was actually friends with John O'Keefe. She knew he was a police officer. She knew his name. And even later in the phone call, she identifies his age, but never identifies him as a police officer to the 911 dispatcher. That's very suspicious to me and a lot of other people.
Yeah, it is.
So she just says there's a man passed out in the snow. She knows exactly who it is. They were out looking for him.
All right. I'm gonna put on headphones and see if I can hear it better.
Yeah, I recommend everyone do that if they can.
All right.
And it's very triggering.
That's interesting because she says, I need somebody. What I could hear is her saying, I need somebody at 34 Fairview Road. There's someone passed out in the snow. There's a man passed out in the snow. Right. AC, that's what I was going to say. A man, like she didn't know him. And why didn't she identify him as a police officer? Now, this is only as much as I've heard so far, basically. So,
sorry, I forgot I said all the same things that I just told you.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, Cherry. Yeah, I got it. Thank you, Cherry. Someone emailed it to me. And thank you to who sent that to me? I'm just gonna say Jessica. So yeah, so supposedly this is Jen McCabe calling 911. Okay. Now, first of all, why can I only hear her? Why can't I hear the dispatcher? Where's this phone call coming from? Did she record the phone call?
Right. See, I don't know.
Why can I only hear Jen?
This stuff yet? This is very fresh to me. It was just sent to me. So the stuff that I just explained to you here in the video, I didn't know what I just explained to you yet.
No, it's fine. I just hate that cell phones are slower than my computer. So I'm getting like a delay.
Yeah.
Jen McCabe's end of the call, which I find very, very weird. Why can't, if this is, an official 911 call release. Why? Oh, it's John's voicemail. Well, why would it be on John's voicemail? What am I missing?
Sorry, you have to sit through my thinking process.
All right, it's no big deal.
Yeah, this can't be official. So why would John's voicemail pick it up? Does anybody have the answer to that? And what am I missing here?
What is that answer? Why did his voicemail pick it up?
Because Karen was repeatedly trying to call him because they were looking for him, remember? So that last time, her last attempt of trying to call John, she sees him in the snow while it's ringing. His voicemail picks up. She immediately drops her phone, jumps out of the car, but her phone is still going. And his voicemail is recording whatever her phone is picking up. Does that make sense?
It does. And Jen McCabe was calling 911 while
And she's still in the car while she's still in the car while Karen is out there trying to. So right there, B. Tim's assessment is completely incorrect and unfounded. So this recording proves that B. Tim, in other instance, that he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about, because he's saying Jen McCabe was the only one putting blankets on him and trying to help him. She was in the car, and that's a recording of Jen McCabe talking to the 911 dispatcher, whereas Karen was actually trying to revive him, covering him with her body, which actually reinforces what she was saying in front of the press outside of the courthouse one time, when she was saying, I was the only one trying to save his life. I was covered in his blood, and no one else helped. And this is actually, you'll hear this for yourself. This proves that. This is a recording of that. And the only person you hear in a panic is Karen.
Okay. No, we can't fast forward through the glare talking on this, because I am listening to it on my cell phone, and then I'm really going to be confused. But you don't talk for much longer, right?
I do stop it here and there. I apologize to everybody who's first listening to this. And I know there's a lot of people who aren't big fans of mine too, and they don't really prefer not to hear me talk so much. But unfortunately, I am. This is a video where I'm breaking it down, and it's a file, so I can't share. There's no link to it that I can share in the private chat for you to play.
Okay.
So unfortunately, this is the best I can do to share it with you.
It's all good.
Karen dropped her phone in Jen's back seat, and it just so happened to be picking up Jen McCabe calling 911. Oh, that sounds shady as fuck. Am I the only one here that doesn't think that thinks that that's fucking weird? I hear Karen in the background. I hear Karen in the background saying, John.
Where are the blankets? I don't see blankets, Terry.
Blankets?
Yes, I need some.
And it's also interesting that she's at her sister-in-law's house, and it never occurs to her to knock on the door. There's a guy lying in the. Why doesn't she just go knock on the door and say, "There's an emergency. I need blankets. There's somebody lying in your lawn." This is. I mean, it's her sister-in-law's. It's her sister's house. Sorry, not her sister-in-law. It's her sister's house. So Jennifer McCabe is sisters with Nicole Albert, and 34 Fairview is Nicole and Brian Albert's home. She can't just knock on the door, if not walk in and say, I need blankets right now. You've got somebody on your lawn dying.
All right. Hold that thought, though, because I want to get through this first, and then I'll give you the floor to talk. But let's get through this part first.
I'm passionate about the case, so I get
I get it.
No, I get all that. Like, obviously, I mean, I could put that together. Karen was trying to call John. She panicked when she saw John and then dropped her phone in the car and jumped out of the car to admit it, right? And as it was recorded, voicemail was Jen was calling with her phone. I understand that. But what I don't understand is how coincidental that is. A, B, how did John's voicemail get accessed and then released? I find that to be a little weird too. I mean, again, I'm just speculating out loud here. Guys, this is reaction because I've only heard like 13 seconds or 18 seconds of this. So understand that I'm reacting to this as well. But okay, guys.
Yes, I need someone to see 34 Fairview Road, Canton, Mass. There's a man passed out in the snow. Yeah, I don't know why he did that. I think he's dead. So, like, okay. I know. Where are the blankets? I don't see blankets, Terry. Yes, I need someone. John is 46 years old. I don't know if he got out of the car and it could be an hour. If he Carrie, if he I don't I don't know.
If it helps, Laura, I think there's a couple of times where I play it uninterrupted. Maybe, but I can't guarantee that.
I know, I'm on the phone with the ambulance. I know, honey, I know.
All right. See, here's my questions. No, Morbid is not coming off. Here's my question.
Last Ronin, this is the 911 call allegedly from Jen. Now, it's not the actual official 911 call. Apparently,
What were you going to say, Laura? Shut me up.
Voicemail.
Mute me.
Yeah,
Shut me up.
Picked up by.
What were you going to say?
What I was gonna say is, why is she so calm? And like you hear the door open at one point, and you hear the door, like you hear the bell from the door, and I'm just surprised that she was so calm. And it seems like it took her a little while to get out of the car or open the car door. I don't know. I just found it weird.
Well, I think I addressed that. I mean, I know that I've been in situations where I've had to call 911, and I know that it doesn't help to be panicky. The best person to call 911 is usually the person who's less likely to panic and be calm and deliver the information to the dispatcher needed in a timely and articulate manner. But so I mean, I like to play devil's advocate. So as I'm analyzing that, I'm thinking that I'm taking that into consideration. But when you look at that along with everything else in hindsight, I do agree with you that it is suspicious that she is as calm as she is with when you look at everything else on top of that. But if you're just looking at somebody just calling 911, I'm not going to hold it against somebody for just simply being calm with a dispatcher. That's what you should do in order to get a responder there in the most timely fashion.
But what I'm saying is, so Karen got out of the car, but Karen and Jen weren't in the same car, right?
Yes, they were. Karen, I believe, was in the back seat. Carrie was driving, and Jen McCabe was in the passenger seat.
Okay, but they weren't friends.
No, that's the funny thing, is the only people that were friends, according to everyone, honestly, were and which is factually known as Jen McCabe and John O'Keefe. Jen McCabe and John O'Keefe, their kids, and John O'Keefe took custody of his I think his brother's kids. I either his brother or his sister. That I'm shaky on. I know Dietz knows, but he took custody of one of his siblings' kids who they and their spouse passed on, and he took custody of those kids, and those kids would have play dates, as far as I know, with Jen McCabe's kids. So they were chummy, Jen McCabe and John O'Keefe. But he wasn't close to anyone else in that house that night. Just her. She was the one that he was texting back and forth with throughout the night for directions. They spoke on the phone a couple of times. But it was Jen McCabe that John O'Keefe was directly in contact with, and only Jen McCabe that he was directly in contact with besides Karen herself, because he was in the car with Karen.
Okay. So let me tell you my theory that I had that I haven't heard people talk about. So this Ryan guy or somebody else, who's to say that he remained outside? This was my theory. So he's standing outside with her. He's ready to go in the house. He's drunk. She's drunk. She then takes off. He's like, bitch, what the fuck? So he's standing outside. Maybe his coat's in the car. He's not prepared to be outside. He's pissed now that she left. Like, I can't believe his bitch just fucking left me. He goes, maybe he didn't get service right there, but he goes over to, the driveway or somewhere, and is like trying to get service, or this bitch is better fucking answer the phone. And somebody else is coming to the party and hits him, realize they hit him, and set it up. Who's to say that that's not possible? And that still excludes the cops and stuff in the house, whether they know or don't know. But people forget, and I was saying this when B. Tim was on, a conspiracy, if it's a good one, nobody's going to know it. It's not like everyone's going to announce, oh, this is planted stuff. This is planted stuff. No, there's only going to be like one or two people that actually know about the conspiracy, or people in the house and the cops may truly not know anything because the person that hit him is the one that set the whole thing up. And I don't know why nobody else has. And I'm not talking a tow truck driver or a snowplow driver. I'm talking just a regular F-150 or a regular car that came back or came there and hit him. Maybe it was a female. I keep saying a guy. Maybe it was a female. Maybe he was standing in the street and it was slippery and some guy fucking hit him and then set the whole thing up. Or maybe he went flying or they carried him. Who knows? But
Well, the problem with that is there's just too much odd behavior coming from the so-called witnesses in the house, because everyone, when you read all the statements, for some reason everyone was looking out the window. Why was everyone looking out the window? What kind of party is what kind of party is where everybody's looking out the window? You know what
yeah,
I mean?
my problem though with this
That's just one
with the conspiracy theory. Why? Show me motive that the cops, and I'm kind of playing devil's advocate, but tell me
I
a
do it all the
motive that the cops would have to kill a fellow police officer. There's no motive.
Well,
Unless John's involved in some big conspiracy.
well, no, there is a motive supposedly because John supposedly had a personal issue with Colin Albert, which is Chris Albert's son, who is Brian Albert's. Colin Albert is Brian Albert's nephew. I should simplify it that way. Brian Albert owns 34 Fairview. He lived in 34 Fairview. So, so supposedly that's the motive that the Turtle Boy and his supporters, his main supporters, are fixated on. I have not totally adopted that theory myself, only because I don't know as much as they do. They followed it a lot closer than I did. I stand on my position that I don't know what happened in that house. I have no idea. And with me trying to establish motive, I came up with a very speculative theory that somehow possibly Jen McCabe and John were closer than they let on, and Matt
But
McCabe.
that's all a conspiracy theory. I'm saying that it's so blatantly obvious that, let's say somebody hit him per se. Not that it's obvious somebody hit him, but they're trying to say that somebody hit him. And the fact that all the evidence, according to the the affidavits and according to the
I see what you're saying.
that he was hit. So I'm not saying he wasn't hit. I'm just saying it wasn't Karen that hit him.
Right. I
And
mean,
let-
I don't know. Me personally, I refuse to come up with a theory that I'm fixated on, because I just don't know what happened in that house. Do I believe wholeheartedly that John O'Keefe entered 34 Fairview that night, despite what everyone else says? Absolutely.
Why?
Because of Ryan Nagel's statement. Ryan Nagel's statement states that he saw that he pulled up behind Karen Reed. He actually, she actually went in front of him in an intersection near the home, unknowingly that they were both going to 34 Fairview. He was going there to pick up his sister, who asked him for a ride, but then decided when he got there that she wanted to stay the night. Now, when he got there, he claimed that actually, I can send you.
Where'd he go? I lost him. Claire, the link is pinned. Trial is March, I believe, yeah. Oh, Clara. Yeah, perfectly. I'm telling you, that's the theory that I have. And the cops may not be involved. All right.
I'm sorry about that.
All right.
Here, let me okay, copy, and in the back chat here, it will be there. It's there now. So you can just click on that and scroll down to number 5 and read that on paragraph 5. And if you want to read that out loud to the audience, that might be helpful to them.
All right. Let me share it.
And you could, yeah, totally share it. All this stuff is public, so it's not like anything is. I don't even know why I'm sharing in the private chat. I can just share it in the chat. I would encourage everyone to read these documents themselves and make their own assessment.
You said paragraph 5?
Yeah, I would start there just to get to the brass tacks as far as why this guy's statement means so much to me, as far as my opinion as to why John O'Keefe entered that home.
All right, I'm going to say that their F-150 remained in front of the homo, for a period of time that was no longer than 5 minutes, at which time his sister Julie came out of the house and asked if the three of them would like to come inside. Ryan refused the invite, and Julie stated that she wanted to stay a little longer and would most likely spend the night at 34 Fairview. Upon conclusion of their conversation, Julie retreated back inside the home, and Ryan noticed that the SUV pulled up in a few feet to the far edge of the property line between 34 and the neighboring property, where the flagpole was located, along with some bushes. Ryan stated the SUV's driver did not appear to place the vehicle into park, as the rear brake lights were illuminated to include the third top center light at the initial positioning and after it had pulled up.
A lot of vivid details there, right? And keep going.
Yeah, but who is Ryan? Because I don't know. Sometimes I say that maybe
he's a witness, but the thing is this is why, is because he wasn't in the house. He has nothing. He has no skin in the game. So that's why I believe his statement more than anything. He has nothing to gain or lose by being honest or dishonest.
maybe he hit him.
No,
Maybe someone had hit him. How do you know? He was there at the same time.
I mean, I thought of that too. But if he was the one to hit her, if he was the one to hit her, why would he? I mean, you have to read the rest of it to understand what I'm saying. Why wouldn't he throw her under the bus like everyone else if he was the one that hit her? See what I'm saying?
Well,
I mean,
maybe he didn't need to, because the next day they knew they were setting him up, or they told him, we'll cover it up. You never know.
That's too far-fetched for me.
All right, the proctor asked Ryan if at any point he heard screams, yelling, or any noise coming from the black SUV when he was on Fairview, which he stated no. Ryan added that as Richie pulled away from 34, their F-150 drove past the black SUV, at which time Ryan observed the interior light on, and a Caucasian female operator seated inside the vehicle, holding the steering wheel at the 10 and 2, looking straight ahead. When was this interview done?
February 7th. So a couple weeks after the incident.
I don't know. It seems pretty detailed.
It is. It is. But think about it. It's not unbelievable, because he was the passenger. So, I mean, he wasn't focused on driving or anything like that. He was looking for his sister. He was waiting for his sister to come out. So he was looking at the vehicle. It's not so unfathomable to think that he was looking at the vehicle, wondering if his sister was in the vehicle or outside the vehicle or what. He didn't know what the vehicle was. He just knew he was there to pick up his sister.
Yeah, but this is at night. How are you going to see? Well, I guess the light was on, but how are you going to remember someone's hand position?
I mean, a lot of people have vivid memories, man. You know? So
Ryan told us he did not see anyone else inside the passenger compartment during his brief observations of the SUV as they drove by it. Ryan did not see the SUV leave and did not note any damage to the vehicle as he remembered. When asked, Ryan said that it had just started snowing approximately half an hour prior. There was a coating of snow on the ground. While present in the area of Cedarhurst and Fairview, Ryan did not see any other vehicles operating besides the F-150 and the black SUV without having any further to provide about the evening. Proctor and I concluded our interview with Ryan. I don't know.
Okay. Let me walk you through that real quick. So the Commonwealth, the prosecution, I should just state it that way. The prosecution wants people to believe that that Karen Reed's taillight broke
The right side, the passenger side.
Right, on the impact, which is kind of pointless as far as this goes, but as far as which side it was. But they want you to believe that she broke her taillight hitting John, right? So now, if he saw that all of the lights were illuminated and there was no visible damage to the car, and then as they pulled up next to her, they saw her interior light was on and she was alone in the vehicle. So if she was alone in the vehicle, that would mean that she either already hit him or he was inside the house. And if the taillight is intact, which Ryan Nagel claims that it is, well, then she couldn't have hit him. So he had to have been inside the house. You see what I'm saying?
No.
Okay.
I see your line of thought, but I don't agree. Just because, I mean, she could have said, I'm going driving around the corner, I'll be right back, and he never made it in the house. It doesn't mean that he's absolutely in the house just because she drove away. She could have been like, fuck you, Dick, I'm out of here.
Fair enough. But but the Apple Health data dictates that at that time, or around that time, very close to that time, he climbed and descended stairs, or descended stairs. So how could he have done that in an SUV or in a front lawn?
No, that's true.
Right.
Were there any stairs around the house?
No.
Maybe he had to go to the bathroom, and he went to the bathroom and he came back out.
I mean, but they claim that he never entered the house. So why are they lying if he went in if he went in to use the bathroom? But also, you have to note the fact that the basement floor was ripped apart shortly after this. They got rid of the dog. They sold the house.
Yeah, that I know.
I mean, so there's a lot of things that if you look at them all in hindsight, it's very suspicious. And it's just doubtful that he was not in that house. There's more to indicate that he was in the house than that he wasn't.
See, let me also stress, I think she's innocent. I do, from everything that I know so far. But even though I believe she's innocent, there's still many pieces that don't fit together. Now, my one question about the steps is it accurate? Does it say how many steps that he allegedly did, or how many steps it's showing? Could he have stepped over something? Like maybe he was stepping over rocks or something?
It does. Let me see if I can find the Apple Health data.
Because if it says that he only went like 1 or 2 steps, yeah, I'm not buying that. But if it says that he did like 7 steps, then yeah, there's no mistake in that.
No, it does. I just have to find it for you. That's all.
I'll wait.
Because I know someone tweeted it and I reposted it, so I'm just looking through my Twitter right now.
Okay.
So I apologize for the
And also, while you're looking for it, the tow truck call that we heard,
Mm-hmm.
why is that not significant evidence? Because it's,
Well, because I don't know how I don't know if the defense has to submit it or when they have to submit it or what. I don't know if they have submitted it or not. And I don't know if we're privy to what the defense submits as evidence. But of course, the prosecution's not going to submit it because it contradicts their narrative.
okay. It does already said phone data doesn't show Watts going up to the steps at Kirby where girls will put in batteries. So who knows? Thank you, Grandma. Big ups from Ringa. Woo woo. Yo, Grandmaster, I found an amazing candle company from England. I am so jealous. I was looking this morning. How do you stamp wax melts?
Grandmaster's my boy. What's up, dude? Oh man, now I can't find that. I mean, I know it's in these documents. I'm gonna go ahead also and share with you the entire spreadsheet. So you can, I mean, on your own time, view it for yourself. I'm going to share it in the public chat too, because I encourage everyone to look at it for themselves. I can't share it in the chat because I'm not a moderator. My bad. Hold on, it's in the private chat. And Morbid's dumbass can look over it too if he wants.
Guys, I just dropped the link for this file, the Ryan Nagel interview. I just dropped the link for that.
So let me go ahead and look and see documents.
Did you? Oh, all right, I got it.
And if you go to documents, it should be in there. Unless maybe it's in Discovery. No, it's not in Discovery. It wouldn't be in Discovery, I don't think.
Oh, this is Sleuthy's thing?
Yeah. I wish I could just search and and find it, but and I know and I know that I saw this and I looked over it. It's something like 30 something steps. If I'm not mistaken, it's 33 steps. But there is a detailed report on his Apple Health data, and I just wish I could find it and share it with you. I apologize.
They said 30 steps?
Something like that. Yeah, I could be mistaken though. Don't quote me on that unless I can see the actual.
Because that doesn't sound accurate. That's a lot of steps. I mean,
Sure,
an average house probably has like 7.
Well, but that's assuming that he only descended or ascended stairs once. You know what I mean? That would just indicate that he was in the house for a while, you know? But again, I'm spitballing because I don't have the document in front of me. So I don't take anything that I'm saying as far as this goes. This subject.
Hold on.
Yeah, Dietz has everything. Dietz is
Dietz says, I have analyzed the hold on, I gotta read it this way. Where's my glasses? Because I'm blind as a fucking bat. Old age, I tell you. All right. It says, I have also analyzed the health-related data obtained from USF Evidence 22-989310, which is a forensic image of John O'Keefe's iPhone 11. When a user enables the application to record information, the iPhone's operating system can record a broad range of activity and health-related data. The following information was obtained from O'Keefe's health application between 12 a.m. and 6 a.m. on January 29th. At 12:11:09 to 12:21:05, 170 steps, which is 99 meters. 12:21:10 to 12:24 is 80 steps, 87 meters. 12:21 to 12:14. I'm sorry, 12:21:14 a.m. to 12:24 a.m. ascended, descended 3 floors.
There you go. Okay. So
56 to 12:32:16, 36 steps, 25 meters. And you know what's funny about that? I was literally going to say, Glara, steps, they don't mean actual steps. So I was like second
right, no, it
thinking
specifies
like,
stairs.
okay, Blair's a dum-dum. But then I see that it was ascended or descended 3 floors.
Right. I promise I know when I'm being a dum dum.
Because
I promise.
at first I'm like, you're a little
Yeah, no, I know. But it does specify stairs.
all right. So what time did they get there?
Did who allegedly get where?
All right, hold on. This is from, now let's think about this though. This is from his iPhone, not from an Apple Watch. Anyone could have had his phone.
Right.
So nobody's to say that that was his phone. I mean, that it was him holding his phone rather than somebody else had his phone.
Right. Right. Which would do what? It would create doubt, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Right. That's, again, as I say a lot, that's a drop in the bucket of the things that would create doubt in this case. There's no 12 jurors on the planet that you are ever going to get that's going to convict Karen Reed. There's no way. That's, I mean, that's
I don't know. If you got people like B. Tim, they would.
Well, that's why you have jury selection. So there's no way that during jury selection that they're going to pick 12 people that are going to ignore all of this reasonable doubt. And I mean, there's tons and tons of it.
So all right, thank you, Deet. So he was allegedly killed at 12:20 a.m., but from 12:31 to 12:32, there were 36 steps with his phone, 83 feet. So how does that happen?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't pretend to even have any idea what went on in that home, except I know that I can't think of any plausible scenario where the injuries that John O'Keefe suffered were done by a car or being hit by a car, the way that they explain that he's been hit by a car. There's no injuries to his lower body whatsoever. I don't pretend to have any idea what happened inside that home. I just believe that he was in that home, and I do believe that those are dog inflicted injuries, whether they be scratches and or bites. But around the elbow, I think those are pretty clear bite marks from an animal. So I mean, and B. Tim was dead wrong about that. That's when he rage quit, when he said that he was tested for animal DNA and it came back negative. That's not true. He was never tested for animal DNA.
All right, hold on. What's the address of the house?
34 Fairview.
Fairview what?
Road, I think.
And what town?
Canton,
all right,
Massachusetts.
I want to see something. Okay.
Now, when you look at the Google Earth of that, or pictures of the home, the front yard looks a lot bigger than it actually is. Everyone that's local there will tell you that.
No, I'm just looking to see steps. And
Okay. Oh,
What?
you want to see like the stories of the house?
I'm looking to see, well, I knew it was 2-story, but I'm looking to see if you took 36 steps out the front door, where would you land? That's what I was looking at.
Okay, so you're looking at the front yard, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it says that he ascended or descended or both 3 floors. So that would have been the basement up to the top, right?
Yeah. I mean that's so 3 stories. It has to be a basement, right? As Deet's saying in the chat.
Unless they went up and down 3 times. But what I'm really looking at is, was he found? All right, let me share my screen so it's easier. Love dog snoring. Was he found?
Oh, I'm sorry about clever snores. He
Okay.
sleeps all through the night. He's a loud snorer.
Would he? I know he was found like somewhere over here. Was he closer to the mailbox or was he closer over here? He was He was over here, wasn't he? If I remember correctly. Wasn't he like right over here? Are you looking at your screen? Where'd he go? Oh, he was over by the flagpole. So he was over here. He was over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 14, 5, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 2, 3, 4, 5, 36. All right, 36 steps would make sense from the front door. So going on my theory, I think he was standing here trying to find out where the hell Karen was, and somebody hit him. And it wasn't her. Clara, you have no sound.
Oh, sorry about that. There's the question of the snowplow driver named Lucky, who claims that he saw that he didn't see John O'Keefe lying there, but he did see a Ford Edge parked there. So I mean, who has the Ford Edge? It's nowhere in any of the reports other than what the snowplow driver claims. So he says he saw a Ford Edge, and supposedly Colin Albert drives a Ford Edge. And
if you estimate 36 steps, it lands you right here. Why would he come from the front door or even around the side or this side or whatever all the way over here unless he was meeting someone in the street? Or he was looking to find out where the hell Karen was. And if snow just started and he got hit by something and he went flying, this is a good estimate of where he would land.
Now his phone was found under him, so it's possible he was carried out and they planted his phone underneath him. So, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that he stepped those 36 steps, but possibly whoever carried him out had his phone and they made those steps. But the phone itself made those steps.
Yeah, but if he was thrown, it could be just a weird thing. Like it could just be a weird coincidence that his phone happened to be in his pocket or something and fell under him. Yes, Swindig, what I'm saying is I counted, it's about 80 feet from the door. If you were to step, it's about that distance. But it doesn't mean so. I don't know. I just think somebody else hit him.
I'm not Yeah, I'm not going to go there yet. I don't feel comfortable, even with as much as I do know about this case. I'm not going to fixate on any theory whatsoever. All I know is that the investigation was conducted like shit, whether it be negligence or corruption. I also don't believe that the owner of the home, Nicole Albert, slept through the entire thing. And that phone call that we were listening to, it's on her phone records. It's on Jen McCabe's phone records, deleted though, but it's on her phone records that she called Nicole Albert at the time of the 911 call, and Nicole Albert picked up. But in Nicole Albert's statement, she claims that she slept through the commotion of the EMTs being there and everybody being there. So you're going to tell me you own a home like this, and you see how well kept it is. You're going to tell me you own a home like this, but you're not going to wake up and be concerned about a dead body in your own lawn? You're going to sleep through that, even though we know that you picked up your phone when your sister called you? I just don't buy it.
But if you're here and this is here, you may not see it.
Right, with a leaf blower going for 2 hours. Thank you, Deeds. Yeah, I mean, no. I'm talking about Nicole Albert's statement. I'm saying already into the morning hours. Already into the morning hours. If you look at Jen McCabe's call log, which I know where that is, and I can share that with you. Which you're gonna love that you'll find that suspicious as hell.
Like, who's to say? This is what I was looking for. Here's a turn. Who's to say that someone wasn't drunk and just fucking ran up and hit him? Some stranger just ran up and fucking ran him over.
Okay, if you go to the spreadsheet and go to communication log, that is Jennifer McCabe's call log. So it has all the times. It tells you what's incoming and outgoing. You can see what's text, what's calls, who to, who from, and the call durations and whether or not they were deleted.
Yeah, but I'm talking a random person. I take away from that. I'm talking a random person. Could have seen something standing there and then took the turn too soon and knocked him out.
That's the thing, is nobody saw him laying there. Nobody claims to have saw him laying there until Jennifer McCabe, Carrie Roberts, and Karen Reed pull up there, and Karen sees him lying there.
But maybe it was a hit and run.
There's nothing to support that, though. That's why I'm
innocent. That supports it.
Do what now?
Karen's innocent. That supports it.
Well, but no, that's a possibility that would support Karen's innocence, but Karen being innocent doesn't support that specific theory that it was a hit and run by a random car.
Yeah, but think about it, though. Someone dies on your property. You're a cop, and someone dies on your property. You're going to do whatever you can to cover it up because you can't explain it. So who's to say? Hold on, let me go back here. I feel like Gray. But who's to say?
Why would they cover up a hit and run? I mean, why make Karen Reed the fall guy? Why do that? Unless they were
maybe they think she did it. Maybe they really think she did it.
I mean, but why are they lying? is the question. Why is everyone lying? If they honestly truly believe that she did it, I mean, there's no better argument than the truth. And especially if these are police officers and police officers' family members, I mean, why would they lie about it?
Maybe it was one of them that did it.
whole idea. That's the whole. That's the.
No. I mean in the car, not in the house.
Well, I mean, I see what you're saying. You're saying you're playing devil's advocate in the sense that, okay, it wasn't Karen, but she was still hit by a car.
my all right. See, here's the thing. I'm very cop positive and very pro blue.
Sure.
I need a motive. If you're going to tell me that all these cops are invested in this conspiracy, I need motive. Just motive.
The motive is the nephew of Brian Albert, who is a cop, supposedly had an ongoing feud with John O'Keefe.
About what?
And someone, something about, I really don't know. Beer bottles being thrown in his yard, or I don't know. I don't remember, something like that. I don't have that solid information, but someone, the first thing that the reason why people say this is because someone who supposedly came forward to Karen Reed's defense team claims that someone they know told them what happened inside the house, and that's why they went down this rabbit hole and started doing their own investigating to try to prove Karen's innocence. And the thing is there all of the suspicion, there's nothing that cancels it out. It doesn't necessarily support it, but there's nothing that cancels it out. Once you do all the investigating, there's nothing that cancels out this theory. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So somebody came forward supposedly and talked to Karen Reed's defense team initially, saying this is what someone said happened in the house, who was there. So, and I have to find that. Let me see if I can find that screenshot.
All right, hold on. So Dietz, hey Amanda. So Dietz said, I don't know if it's motive. I don't know if it's related, but John was speaking with Canton PD before his death about drug activity in the area. See, that would be motive.
Right. And I think that has something to do with Colin Albert. So yeah, you have to, and that's the thing, is a lot of this stuff is due to Turtle Boy's investigations, and I actually try to make a conscious effort to limit the information I get from Turtle Boy so that I don't fall under the category of blindly following Turtle Boy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, about Turtle Boy is some of his investigations and the things that he's uncovered with proof, they're undeniable. And even Karen Reed's defense is using some of it. Like, he's the one that discovered the relationship between Trooper Proctor, the lead investigator in the case, and Jennifer McCabe's family. So I mean, and the defense presented this to the judge in a pretrial hearing 2 hearings ago.
Okay.
But I don't, that's the thing, is I don't feel comfortable spouting out theories so much. I mean, I had one loose theory, but I'm very clear about it. Like, it's very loose and very speculative. Because like you, I agree with you in the sense I need motive, because I am also very pro police, so I need motive. I'm not quick to jump to the conclusion that there's dirty cops conspiring to cover up a murder. I'm just not quick to do that. But I'm wondering why all of these cops are lying, first off, and I'm also wondering why certain police officers that are involved in that case are directly involved in Turtle Boy's case when Turtle Boy lives in a different city, and yet are still involved directly in his case. and continue to be involved. And then there's also the case of Sandra Birchmore that took place a couple of years ago, where you see some very familiar names, and this poor girl did not commit suicide. This poor girl was absolutely Epstein. You can totally tell if you look into that case. That's a whole nother rabbit hole, and you see some familiar names as far as police officers go in this case. So there's a lot. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. Like I remember the first time I heard about this case was on your panel on this channel, and it was Dietz, and Dietz was not lying when she said there is a lot to go into, and you cannot just go by news articles. And she's 100% right about that. And I haven't even read every single document. You know, I mean, you look at that spreadsheet, look at all that there is to go through. And some of those documents are tens and tens of pages. So I mean, there's a lot. There's
What's
a lot
the next step for the case?
Well, right now the DA is, it's just been revealed that the Norfolk County DA's office is under federal investigation as far as how they're investigating, as far as their methods in investigating the case. So that just the screw ups and the negligence, some say corruption. I'm still willing to say negligence just for now until it's proven that there's corruption, but I smell corruption and I believe corruption. I'm just not going to say there's definitive proof that there is corruption yet. You can interpret it as corruption, but until the feds start to indict people at the DA's office, I'm not going to go ahead and say that just yet, because I like
going to.
Well, they might not, but they're definitely, it is an ongoing investigation, and the feds have a 97% success rate in convictions in their investigations. So they're serious. They're not messing around.
But they admitted that, like Dietz was saying, that they admitted, the chief of police confirmed
what?
Confirmed that they were speaking to John O'Keefe.
Oh, I don't know. If Dietz says so, I believe it, but I don't know.
February 15th is Karen's next court date. All right.
Yes, right. It's a pre-trial hearing. But the hearing, this last hearing was about the federal investigation, and there are the question was whether or not there was a federal investigation, and it turns out there are 8 letters of correspondence between the DA's office and the Department of Justice and other branches of the federal government, trying to inquire about a federal investigation and trying to get details of a federal investigation, looking into them. And in one of the letters, it basically confirms that there's an open investigation. And then the hearing prior to that was establishing the fact that Michael Proctor's family is very close to the McCabe family, which when you were showing the stream that I did earlier with B. Tim, I was showing the proof of that.
Yeah, I didn't understand though, because I know what you were saying, but in it said except for Chris. Like it showed my world except for Chris, and I didn't understand that either.
Hold on a second. It's possible that Chris was just not included in the photograph. That's how I interpreted that, but I don't know.
No, I interpreted the family is close, and that's your world except for Chris. With the exception of Chris, and then I was like, aren't we talking about Chris?
Yeah, I mean, she could have been joking around saying, well, minus Chris Albert, because maybe, I mean, I don't know. But Chris Albert is Now that's an interesting thing as well. Chris Albert is the brother of Brian Albert, the owner of the house, and he also sits on the Canton Select Board, which is kind of like the equivalent, I guess, more or less of like the county. Well, I mean, not the county commission because Canton's a town, but like the town hall. Like, I don't think that there's a mayor, but that's like the equivalent. Those people made up is like the equivalent of a mayor, I guess. But he sits on that town hall. I couldn't explain to you the exact politics of that because I don't live there, and I don't really understand politics a lot. But he's an elected official, and he owns D&E Pizza. And John O'Keefe supposedly went into D&E Pizza and spoke to Chris Albert prior to going to those bars the night in question.
Okay.
And meeting up with everyone. So Chris Albert is definitely a player in this, but and he's also his behavior is also very questionable because he seems to be the hand the hand that puppets Ken Mello, who is the prosecutor in Turtle Boy's case.
Okay.
And the Canton Nine, who are all charged with witness intimidation. But I did 5 live streams going over his charges, and it's full of inaccuracies, lies, and just misinterpretations. That's Turtle Boys. And then the Canton Nine, there's a recording of the police citing those people. They didn't take anybody to jail, but they all got charged. And now there's a recording of Ken Mello himself basically instructing the Canton Police Department to charge those protesters with a crime. The reason why I'm so invested in that is because I'm a patriot first and foremost, and I do believe in the First Amendment, and they are using a law to charge Turtle Boy and those 9 people, and that law is clearly unconstitutional.
See, but here's my thing about that. And some agree, some disagree. If you know that a case is corrupt and you know that you're dealing with shady ass cops, why provoke them? Why would you do things? And if you truly in your heart believe that they set somebody up for a murder that she did not commit, why would you put yourself in the position that she's in? That's just not smart, in my opinion.
A question that's just as viable would be, why wouldn't you? If nobody else is doing it, then
Because
they're just going to continue to operate. They're just going to continue to operate with impunity, no? So if nobody else is stepping up, why not step up and do something?
Because he's only one person.
I mean, if you look at what's happening with Turtle Boy's actions have brought a lot of attention to that town, and it's the town that is speaking up, and they're trying to spin this narrative that Turtle Boy is this cult leader and these people are members of this cult, when the town itself are the ones that are demanding a difference and a change in the way things are run. The reason why I'm so invested in this case is because I'm incredibly inspired by those people, because they're saying something's wrong here and something has to change. And just recently, Court TV just dropped some ridiculous piece because Ken Mello, the special prosecutor hired by the district attorney to prosecute Turtle Boy's case and the Canton Nine's case, is he just recently had Karen Reed's 2 of Karen Reed's phones seized. Now, Now already there's misinformation being spread about that, saying that she wiped the phone. There's nothing, nobody, there's no proof of that. There's nothing, no report of that. But the fact that it's Ken Mello, who's not involved in Karen Reed's prosecution, and he's the one who seized her phones, I find that extremely interesting. And if you look at Ken Mello's record as a prosecutor, he is absolutely incompetent. Like, his track record is shady, to say the least. He's been reprimanded twice by the bar. He's lost more cases than he's won, and usually due to just basically blowing off his clients. And if you look him up, there's no reviews of the guy online, and he has 40 years of practice experience. So why is this guy a ghost? And
yeah, but Turtle Boy is still sitting in jail because of corruption. And that's what I'm saying. They could keep him in jail as long as they want.
Not really. Not really.
Yeah, really?
He has a good lawyer. He has a good lawyer, and
that's good. He's still sitting in jail, and Karen's not.
Well, that's what people are saying. Some people are questioning Bradle's ability to defend Turtle Boy efficiently. But the thing is when you're fighting a corrupt system, you're doing what you can. The thing is Turtle Boy could walk out of there tomorrow if he pled out, but he refuses to because he knows that he did not do anything ethically wrong. He knows he did not do anything.
Not ethically, you mean legally.
Well, I mean, technically he did break the law. The problem is that the law itself is unconstitutional that they used to charge him with. So they have to fight this law. They have to fight this law, basically. So Turtle Boy
is charged with
witness intimidation. Now he's charged with domestic violence, something to that effect. Here, I can give you this. Sorry, I can't computer for the life of me. 1 second here. Okay, now this would be Turtle Boy's. This would be Turtle Boy's charging documents right here, but since these charges, other charges were added in order to throw him in jail. He was out on bail for these charges. So, but you could see the original charges. Those charges are based on an unconstitutional law, which is like section 28, chapters 13A and 13B. Massachusetts state law.
Who says it's unconstitutional?
Well, the First Amendment says that it's unconstitutional.
Then why is it in the law?
That's a good question. That's a great question. As Dietz would say, that's the $1 million question.
And nobody else has ever gotten arrested for this? Thank you, Rhonda.
Yeah, the Canton 9 have been arrested for it since Turtle Boy. So, but nobody else that I know of that I've seen has been arrested for this. So I mean, it's pretty interesting that, because it's saying that you can't picket or you cannot picket around a witness or a potential witness. A potential witness could be anyone. So basically it's saying that you can't picket and protest. But if you read the First Amendment, if you Google the First Amendment right now, it'll the first thing it says is that you cannot make a law that prohibits people from picketing and protesting.
Yeah, but I think states can modify that.
Well, obviously, I mean, they can pass a law, but I mean, now it's a question of having to fight it. And that's the struggle that Turtle Boy is going to have to deal with right now. So it's not just so simple that his lawyer can have the case thrown out. There's a bunch of hoops to jump through here. So basically Turtle Boy's attorney has his hands full, and he's doing what he can.
Dr. Turtle Boy. Thank you, Squirrel. Aiden committed a violation of Massachusetts retreats. Whoever willfully, either directly or indirectly, threatens, attempts, or causes physical, emotional, or economic injury to or property damage, conveys a gift, offer a promise, or anything of value, misleads, intimidates, or harasses another person is a witness, a potential witness, person who is aware of information, records, documents, or objects that relate to a violation of a criminal law or a violation of conditions of probation, parole, blah, blah, blah. I believe committed a violation of Massachusetts.
Right. Now Google the First Amendment. And you tell me if that law is constitutional.
Yeah, but I don't see how. I mean, it is, though, because they're not saying it's not about picketing. It's about harassing.
It's saying that if you hurt someone's feelings, basically, that you're harassing them. If you cause emotional distress, you're harassing them. I mean,
to a witness or a potential witness, person who is aware of information, document. Well, no, not necessarily. It's kind of like what passed in Florida against Betty, that you can't picket on a governor or, you know, as government employees' front lawn. It's the same kind of thing. That's what they're saying.
Well, I mean, but it's a lot more vague and broad. I mean, I don't have the law against Betty's, the Karen law. I don't have that in front of me, but
yeah, no, this law. I mean, I'm tired, so I would really have to go through it. Sure. But this law would have a lot, man. It sounds like it's only related to somebody in a case. It's not like if I went to your house.
But that's why the potential, that detail that it's a potential witness makes it so vague. Who's to say who's potential and who's not potential? You know what I mean? Like anybody could be a potential witness. Anybody, literally anybody. You know what I mean?
This is actually pretty specific.
Well, not if it's a potential witness, somebody who might be a witness, might not be a witness. I mean, who's to say who that is? You know what I mean? Like that's where it's actually very vague. That detail makes the law very broad and makes the whole thing a gray area, which could make anybody subject to arrest.
Well, to be honest with you, it's not broad. It's actually pretty fucking detailed. And what I mean by that is they cover everything from a witness to a potential witness, anyone who is aware, not has, you know, in their possession, but anyone who's aware of information, records, documents, or objects that relate to a violation of a criminal law or a violation of conditions of probation, parole, bail. Any judge, juror, grand juror, attorney, victim, witness, advocate, police officer, correction officer, federal agent, investigator, clerk, court officer, court reporter, court interpreter, probation officer, or parole officer, a person who is or was attending, or a person who had made known an intention to attend a proceeding described in this section, or family member of a person described in this section, with the intent to, or with reckless disregard for the fact that if may, and then it goes on and on. So this is actually really detailed.
Right,
This
but
is
it basically covers just about anyone with a picket sign.
absolutely. That's why I'm saying it's very detailed.
Which that's what I'm saying is that's why it's unconstitutional, because you still have the right to protest and picket. That basically takes your right away to protest and picket. It puts you subject to arrest if you picket anywhere, anybody, anytime.
Yeah, but this doesn't say picket. It says intimidates or harasses.
No,
Number-
at some point, at least the law that either 13A or 13B, it explains that picketing or protesting or something to that effect. I know the word picketing is in there somewhere.
Now, could it also be, this was page 8 is what I was looking at. But is it possible that they did that? It was right after Jennifer McCabe's statement. And it seems that this was against Jennifer McCabe. She is a potential witness. So maybe they don't want him interrupting. And just maybe, they don't want him interrupting because they want her, like they need her. Maybe there's something going on behind the scenes that they need her for. Maybe it has to do with the drug investigation. Maybe she's part of it. Like, he doesn't know the reason why they put him in jail. Everybody is automatically thinking, and just think about this. Hold on. Just
but
hear
is
me
that
out.
not a violation?
Hold on. Hear me out. Hold
To
on. Hear me
not
out.
tell 'em? I mean, don't.
Hold on. Everybody is thinking that this is a cover up for the police killing him. And that very well might be true. However, there's another side. What if, and I say what if Jennifer McCabe is part of the investigation of bringing down this cop, and maybe it was a husband, who knows, but bringing down this cop, and the cops are working with her to bring down the other people in the house, whether it be her brother, a friend, whoever. And they need Jennifer, and they're working on this a certain way, and they can't have Turtle Boy freaking out. They can't have Turtle Boy impeding in that, because what if, and I say just what if, that all of this is the cops actually setting them up to go
I
down
get what you're
because of
saying.
John O'Keefe.
I get what you're saying, but if that were true, they would have gotten someone much more qualified and competent than the special prosecutor that they got. I promise you. If you did your homework on this guy, you'd be like, what were the DA thinking? And the only conclusion that I can logically come to is that he's there just to play deflection. He's there just to shut Turtle Boy up and keep him away from the Karen Reed case. That's what he was hired for.
But I'm saying that maybe, just maybe, there's a reason why they want him away, and it's not the fact that
I don't
did the murder. Maybe it's something totally
too,
unrelated, and that they were working with Jennifer to bring down whoever.
That's
Do you
too.
know what I'm saying?
It's too. I do know what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, if you actually were following the Turtle Boy case in detail,
I haven't at all.
Right, you would see that that's way too imaginative. Way too imaginative. It's not. It wouldn't apply. Like if you saw this mellow guy and you saw the way that he handles himself in court, just that alone, you'd be like, no way. If it was that deep and that important, they would have gotten somebody much more competent, and they wouldn't have settled on the 11th choice because 10 other people refused to take the job. 10 other lawyers refused to take the job. Why would 10 other lawyers refuse to take that special prosecutor position unless they were like, I'm not touching that shit with a 10-foot pole. I'm going to get disbarred. You know what I mean? And right now, Bradel has just, this guy actually accused Turtle Boy's attorney of a crime without any evidence to back it up. And the judge basically wiped the floor with him And Bradel just recently filed a motion demanding that he be recused from the case. And that's insane. Like, Mello even admits that that his accusation against Turtle Boy's lawyer Bradel is quote unquote unprecedented, meaning it's never been tried before. I mean, one might say that it's brave and brazen, but I say it's brazen and desperate because the guy is incompetent. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but I mean, every other attorney that I've spoken to behind the scenes about this, and I've spoken to a few, are like, this guy is a joke. Like, it makes no sense that this guy is even practicing law right now. It doesn't even add up that he's even practicing, much less hired as a special prosecutor by the DA, unless they were looking for a patsy who is willing to do unethical things that the DA is not going to have to answer for. Because that's another point that you have to understand. A special prosecutor hired by the DA does not have to answer to the DA. He basically just works freelance. He works for the DA, but he doesn't have to do the things that the DA says and doesn't have to answer to the DA. So the DA gets to wipe their hands of them and be like, well, I have nothing to do with that. That's the special prosecutor. So they hired this guy knowing that he's going to do the craziest shit and it's not going to come back on them.
I know, but I'm just saying that everybody is looking at it very straightforward, and everyone could be right and still be wrong at the same time.
Well, sure.
And that's what I'm saying. My theories aren't out of left field. It's based on everything we know. But what I do know of cops, there's a good chance, based on what Deet said, that they are working with, that there's a theory that there was a drug bust that was going to go down, or that somebody may have been involved in drugs. Going on that theory, there is a good chance, if that's true, then there's a really good chance that they got Turtle Boy out because Turtle Boy is going to fuck up this investigation that they may have had going for, let's say, the last year or 2 years. That's logical. That's not far-fetched. That's logical.
It's possible, but it's unlikely if you're following Turtle Boy's charges in case closely.
But I think they'll do anything to keep him away, regardless of the outcome.
I mean, it's there's no doubt in my mind that they're desperate in doing anything to keep him in jail and to try to keep him quiet. I mean, this guy actually tried to file a motion. This guy filed a motion trying to basically deny Turtle Boy of his attorney-client privilege. That's never even been tried. No lawyer would be crazy enough to even try that, to even present that in front of a judge. Like, what? The judge even was like, well, wait a minute, what? I mean,
but Turtle Boy, hold on, but back it up. Turtle Boy is not an attorney. Turtle Boy is not a politician. Turtle Boy has no pull to put any of, and I'm explaining where my thought process is coming from. Turtle Boy has no actual pull to put the police in jail. He's got no pull to try these police in court. He's just a big mouth. So the only reason why they would need to keep him in jail is one of three things. He's either a cop that can arrest people, which he can. He's a lawyer that can put them in court. He can. He could, or it's something that nobody's thinking of, that they want to keep him behind the scenes.
You're keeping one
thing him away because
you're underestimating what power he does have. He is an investigative, independent journalist. So in his investigations, he has uncovered inconsistencies in the Commonwealth, the prosecution in Karen Reed's case, in their prosecution. He's uncovered many inconsistencies, and that poses a threat to the Norfolk County DA, which happens to also be under federal investigation. This is what you're forgetting. See what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
he is powerful and he is a threat to them. Because Karen Reed's defense is actually using some of the evidence that Turtle Boy's investigations have uncovered, such as the relationship between Michael Proctor and the McCabe's. So the Proctor McCabe family being close, that was Turtle Boy's investigations, and now the defense is using that.
Okay, but
show the
even
Because
if Karen Reed,
Michael Morrissey, the DA, made a public statement straight up lying about the relationship between the Proctors and the McCabe's.
okay,
then
but
Turtle Boy
even
had
if
public-
Karen Reed is found innocent, doesn't put the cops guilty. That's what I'm saying.
No, it
What is
doesn't.
the vested interest what's the vested interest in for them if it's not like if she's free, then they're automatically guilty? They're still going to be free.
No. Sure. No, that's the thing. That's the problem. Because the theory is, the ongoing theory is, what's the motive? What's the motive behind getting Karen Reed? How does that get John O'Keefe justice if Karen Reed goes free? Well, the idea, they don't think that the theory is that the prosecution doesn't even believe that they could actually prove this case and it's going to get thrown out. They believe that they're going to lose. The theory is that prosecution even knows that their case is going to get thrown out of court or a jury's going to acquit her. And the effect of that will be the Casey Anthony effect, where she basically gets away with murder in the public eye, and then nobody is going to be looking anywhere else. Even though she gets away with it in court, she's considered by the public who's demanding justice for John O'Keefe is going to go, oh, well, the person who did it got away with it, instead of looking elsewhere. Because the only other logical place that you can look, this is undeniable, Laura, the only logical place that you could ever look for justice for John O'Keefe other than Karen Reed would be inside that house that night. And that's what they're trying to avoid. At least that's the theory. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why the Turtle Boy is doing what he's doing and trying to show, okay, no, it's not going to stop with Karen Reed. There's no way, with the evidence that the prosecution lacks, and I mean lacks, with the evidence that they lack and to prove, and the evidence that the defense has that could actually exonerate her, that there's no way that she's going to get convicted. So why are they moving forward with the case? And the only plausible theory for that is that, well, you're going to look somewhere else. People still want justice for this fallen Boston police officer. So you have to look somewhere else, and the only other place to look is inside that house. And if the prosecution, if the Norfolk County DA's office is influenced by the Canton Select Board, which Chris Albert sits on, who is the brother of the owner of the home, well, then they're trying to keep the eyes away from that house that night. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's that. I mean, it's actually a lot more simpler than it sounds. I mean, the whole point is misdirection. You get her and you put her on trial, she wins, and then people go, oh, well, the guilty person got away with it. That's the narrative in the public, because who's going to demand justice for John O'Keefe?
But not if a jury of her peers finds she's not guilty.
Of course they will. If a jury of her peers finds that she's not guilty, it's because the prosecution failed to present a strong enough case against her. But the defense is actually trying to fight, at least they're appearing this way, that they're trying to fight for justice for John O'Keefe themselves. Because this is Karen Reed. This is her boyfriend. She loved him, even though they fought and had differences like any couple does. She lost her boyfriend. She loved him. She was the only one trying to save his life, according to her. According to that 911 call that we heard, she was the only one trying to save his life. So if if the prosecution is painting a picture of look over here and don't look over there, but Turtle Boy is saying, no, look over there, despite what they're trying to tell you, this is why you need to look over there, then they're going to see him as a threat. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
That's it in a nutshell.
All right. I have to get back into it because I stopped watching everybody on it.
I'm telling you, man, do yourself a favor and look at those charges. I did 5 different live streams. I'm not telling you to look at my live streams. Look at the charges in the document that I last sent you, the statement of facts of Turtle Boy's case. Look at that, and those all of those charges, they have they have video titles and timestamps that are still on his YouTube channel. So compare what the charging documents say versus what his live streams that they point out as evidence say. And they're clearly embellished or misinterpreted or just plain lies, just plain not true. But you have to look at that for yourself. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? You just look at it yourself.
No, I hear. I'm posting all the links you gave me. Hold on. Because I don't want to shut down and not grab all the links.
Yeah, Piper. That's why I told her to do her own research, Piper. So thank you so much for the advice. I appreciate it.
I always do my own research.
Piper's so helpful. But I'm going to go ahead and jump off, Laura. Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed our conversation. It means a lot.
Absolutely.
That we were able to have this nice conversation. Thank you.
You're welcome. It was good.
Right on.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, that was an interesting turn of events. Their repository of information. Well, kind of. That's not you. Is that you, Gray? I can't tell. Does that Gray have a check next to his name? Yes, I agree with that. All right, so that is Gray. Gray, here. I got this. Hold on. No, I'd say it doesn't show your check mark on it doesn't show your check mark on StreamYards. There's Sleuthy Goosey's in-depth statement of facts. Greg, I can give you everything I got. This is what Claire sent me tonight. Hold on. There's that, the one I just sent, and this one. Or is that the same? Did I post 3? There's 1, 2. I thought I posted 3. Gray, we need your art skills for this case. That's what we need. Let me also send you this, Gray. Hold on. I'll send it to you on Facebook. Hang on. Because this is interesting. Gray. I agree. I just sent you some on Facebook Messenger. No, it's just I was like counting steps and stuff, and you're really good at that. I felt like you at one point. I was showing a map. I was like, look, I'm gray. Yeah, that's the one part. The thing that I sent you is very interesting. Oh, if you want to see some amazing like reconstructions, go to Gray Hughes for his Jodi Arias videos. Oh my god, they're phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. His recreation videos. Even when I get mad at Gray, I will never take that away from him. He does fantastic reconstruction videos. Recreation, whatever it's called. I had a knot in my hair. Good eye. Oh, do you? I did see that you wrote at one point, the Linda Lane videos are real. I just haven't had a chance to watch it yet. Oh, his Jodi Arias, his reconstruction videos are phenomenal. Moved a few of them because I thought YouTube was going to strike people, but I misread. He has covered Idaho 4. Microdots? What's that? Oh, were you? When? Were you with Cuomo? Cuomo's my man. Yeah, Deets, what is Celebrate Data? It's the fourth time I've been on there. Yeah, I know you were on there. Believe me, Gray, we'd rather see you than Jennifer Coffendorfer. I cannot stand that woman. Vinnie Politan. I literally cannot stand her. And now she's like popping up everywhere. I'm like, oh my God. Why are you everywhere? She literally turns me off from cases. Like if she's covering a case, I have no interest in it. I guess in a couple of weeks, I won't have to worry about knots in my hair. Because I won't have any hair. Oh, was it? All right. Is it on your channel? Or are you going to get me shut down? I agree. She's in everything. She's literally in everything. No, I'm serious. I got this big knot I'm getting out. I'm like, well, I won't have to worry about this in a couple of weeks. Gray, is it on your channel, I'm assuming? Let's see. All right, there's the Linda Lane videos. Is it on a live? Yeah, it would be on a live. Here it is. I got it. Hold on. I start chemo in a few weeks. And I'll be bald as a baby's bottom.
Factual information. She's like, one. I think to do it. Just, Let's see. Anyways, you guys want to watch it, or I think I can just play it over here. Yeah, it's right there. You don't sound as troll-like.
Podcaster Gray Hughes, who you can watch on YouTube at Gray Hughes Investigates. Make sure you check it out after this program tonight. Check out his channel. It's pretty amazing, the in-depth investigations he's done on this case and on
all
the other big
Everybody there
true
is
crime
awesome.
cases.
Yeah.
So, Gray, you've done some incredible work here involving a surveillance video from that night. Before we get to it, though, I just want to set things up for the folks at home so they're prepared for what they're going to see. And I think you agree with me that it all starts with the affidavit that's been obtained by all of us. So let's take a look at that. The affidavit videos. This is key. Videos obtained from.
So we had like two phone calls really working through how this should go down, because I wanted them to do the probable cause first, so that you know that everything that you're about to see is mentioned on there.
The King Road neighborhood showed multiple sightings of the suspect vehicle number 1. They're saying that's the defendant, starting at 3:29 a.m., ending at 4:20 a.m. Suspect vehicle 1 makes an initial 3 passes by the 1122 King Road residence and then leaves via Walenta Drive, okay? Suspect vehicle 1 can be seen entering the area a 4th time, and this is the significant time, at approximately 4:04 a.m. It can be seen driving eastbound on King Road, stopping, turning around in front of 500 Queen Road, number 52, and then driving back westbound on King Road. When vehicle 1 is in front of the King Road residence, it appeared to unsuccessfully attempt to park or turn around in the road. The vehicle then continued to the intersection of Queen Road and King Road, where it can be seen completing a 3-point turn and then driving eastbound again down Queen Road. Suspect vehicles next seen departing the area of the King Road residence at approximately 4:20 a.m. That's establishing our timeline. Let me show you on the screen what the video is going to look like from this surveillance. And you see the timestamp on there. That's significant, 11:13. This piece of the video from 3:31, 3 seconds a.m. Now, let me show you the map of the route that the suspect here may have taken. Take a look at the loop. You can see where the crime scene is. That's the house. The red is this looping way you can get around the neighborhood, and then you've got to go in the neighborhood. Okay, that's significant. Now let me show you where the security camera footage you're going to see is from. So, points of interest. Crime scene is the house.
Awesome how they
500 Queen, number 52 is in like an apartment where there's a turn.
So I actually sent a screenshot. Here, let me show you hold on a second. I'm gonna go. I just had to do that too. I sent them this right here. So this is what I sent. I said, okay, it comes in like this and then around, and then 1330 Linda Lane, 500 Madison's Window, and 1112 King Road right there. So that's what I sent them, but they made their own, their own graphic.
Turnaround, and then you've got 1330 Linda Lane security camera. That is the significant positioning of the camera, and the red is the route that we believe the suspect vehicle.
Yeah, when I was on Google Maps, it showed a pin right on here for 500 Queen Road, number 52, and then it goes away. It comes back and goes away off. I don't know what the deal is, but when I type it in, it's right there. It's the building and everything looks exactly the same, like it was built by the same, it's part of the same apartment complex. So I think that is the spot. And it absolutely showed up on Google Earth. I remember that show the other day. I said, oh, look at that. It's right there. Wow. It normally doesn't show up here. And then I looked again the next day, and then it's not there. But this is number 52 right here.
Takes. All right, great. Did I get all of that correct?
You nailed it.
Okay, good.
Absolutely perfect.
Well, folks should know that we were talking earlier today, and that's the only reason I'm getting all of this right. Okay, great. Let's do this. Let's put up the first video, and I'll let you take over. I think this is the first one where you're in your car driving part of the path. So tell us what we're watching.
Yeah, this is 500 Queen Road. The main building is right here on the right. And this is what it looked like from the driver of the white Elantra's point of view, driving back here. And this is what it looks like. And then you take a right, and now I switch it over to daylight here so you can just get a better view of it. And then right back there to the left is where the camera is on that building over there. And this is that little space. And you right here's some surveillance footage at 331. That was a little short clip there, but it shows that vehicle making this exact route right here. And then it comes around, and look where this ends up at. Each time it made this loop. At 331, you take a right here, and you could just park right here on this.
And so the house is right there, but I think he thought when I were playing
corner,
it,
and you could see right into Madison.
I think he thought that this room up here, just because you have to sort of be there to know exactly what you're looking at.
Mogan's bedroom right there.
Oh wow! On the top right part of the screen there. That was the house.
Yeah.
Wow.
On the left side of the screen, it's right there. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Now let's take a look at the next piece of video. This is pass number 2, I believe, at 338.
Second. Exactly. This is the second of the.
Now I got a question. Did you go there? Was that you driving? I'm assuming, because I think I remember hearing you went there. So I'm just curious.
3 initial passes. So 338, you can see the light as it's coming down that narrow corridor that I was driving on. And then you'll see the lights show up, and then it comes around the corner, and it does the exact same thing again. And each time it leaves on Willanta Drive and does that loop all the way around.
Yeah, thanks.
But between loop number 2 and 3, however, there might be
a
different route that you took because there's a 17-minute gap instead of 8.
He is cool. He's a cool.
So as you're
guy.
doing all this and you had driven the route, are the times matching up for you?
Oh, absolutely perfectly.
Hey, you guys that have watched the show, haven't we we've done all the timing, and things have just absolutely been amazingly, everything lines up, right? Remember the time when we timed it, where we sat there for 3 minutes or 2 minutes and then drove all the way around, and then boom, you're right there. Multiple things that we timed, and it was really right on the money.
I even did it on live streams. I go, everybody right now, pretend it's
Now,
this time.
See, there you go.
We drive around, and it's like, boom. Exactly everything lined up.
I just
all
said
right,
the
let's
same
move
thing.
ahead now to 3:56 and 45 seconds.
And this is the third pass. So again, there's like a 17-minute gap in that one. It's possible it showed up at a mobile gas station because there's a 3:45 image of perhaps a white Elantra there, but we don't have that in this show tonight. So here it comes around doing the exact same thing again. And this is interesting because 3:57 is right around the time that perhaps a DoorDash delivery was made, around 4. I think it might be a little bit before that, though. And I think each time he goes behind there, though, he stops and probably waits for a few minutes watching through the window to see if the lights are going to turn off. This is my opinion. And when the lights aren't off yet, he drives away to kill more time without sitting there, and then comes back again. That's my opinion.
Now, you were there. So if the DoorDash driver shows up, they're not going to be going past this particular camera.
No, they would just be right. They would go in front of the 1112 King Road camera, but they would just probably pull into the front parking lot of 1122 King Road. And see on that map right there, right above crime scene, just to the northwest of that is that one building right there. That is the 1122 King Road, 1112 King Road camera.
Okay, so when this case goes to trial for prosecutors, obviously they can have this surveillance video, but they'll have other video from other cameras.
So, Gray, I got a question. If he's parked by the camera, like behind here, did he run there? Or you're saying he was parked right behind the house? I don't know why my mouse isn't showing up. But when he came around, so I don't know why my mouse not showing up. So he parked right behind the house? Okay, so I see right where the red arrow ends is what you're saying, right? All right, I got it.
cameras along the way to try to tie this all together. But again, from you comparing these videos to that affidavit to driving it yourself, things are matching up pretty consistently for you.
Yeah, it matches up absolutely perfectly. These are the initial 3 passes that we just discussed. And then I guess we'll be showing, there's like on the 4th pass, there's an aborted pass, and then it turns around, and then it finally finishes it. So we'll see that here in a second.
So that's the one that turns around. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
Yeah, they set this up so nicely
this is
in
at
order.
405,
That was good.
and on the affidavit, it said it shows up in the area at 404, which is actually on Taylor Avenue, and it comes around, and then at 405 and it was at 33 seconds or so, it comes back here, and then it turns around right here, right in front of Queen Road, 500 Queen Road, number 52. It's exactly what it says on the probable cause affidavit. So right here, it's turning around. You can actually see the car right underneath the AM.
Right,
there,
yeah.
backing up.
Yeah. Pretty clear.
Yeah, it's clear. And I've actually done an overlay with a white Elantra image, and the window shape is exactly the same.
All right, I got a question though. I've seen this footage before, but it was never this angle. Like, I don't remember ever. Did you get like private video that wasn't around? I mean, I'm going back a while ago, but I don't remember this angle where you can actually see the car. Am I crazy? Am I wrong? Or did you get like private video?
So what's this is a turnaround, but what's going on here? Obviously, we're not inside the head of the driver of this car, but this is different than the other passes.
Yeah. So this one, you wonder, when he drove by, did he see something that was concerning, and he wanted to go back and check it? And he was about to turn around or park right in front of 1122 King Road. That's the house where the murders happened. But he didn't do that, and then he continued on to Queen and King, and now look at, he's coming back. Oh, I guess we're repeating that part.
Yeah, this is the repeat of, just so folks can see it again, because this is different than the other passes, and here you get the best look at the vehicle. Again, as you said, right under where it says AM, that is potentially the killer's car here.
Yeah.
No, I think it's 100%.
Amazingly, Brian Koberger owned a 2015 white Elantra.
White Elantra. All right, now let's get to the final pass. Again, the timing here is very
Gotta get
significant
that in.
as well, as we
in.
move to the next video, starting at 4:07.
Right, so he did the 3-point turn at Queen and King. Now he's actually going quite a bit faster. I timed these. He's really hustling. It's almost like he noticed something. It's his time now. He's going to get there, and he comes around the corner, and look what time it is, 4:07 and 41 seconds or so. I think he parked at 4:08. All right. And then at 4:08, probably exits the vehicle sometime after that. And then at 4:20, it leaves at a high rate of speed. But interestingly, in between 4:08 and 4:20, a knife sheath was left inside the house on Madison Mogan's bed that contained the DNA of Brian Koberger, who also drives a 2015 white Elantra.
And this is exactly how prosecutors have to lay this out for the jury. Because
Can I get a boom?
You don't have a confession here.
That was
You don't
right
have
there.
you have a witness who sees someone in a mask. I don't think the surviving witness can significantly identify the person by the face because of the covering. But this is the type of evidence that a jury understands and then kind of shifts it onto the defendant to try to explain it, or are they going to say it wasn't me behind the wheel of the car? Now, 4:08 to 4:20 is the window of time where everyone believes the murders took place. The one thing you said I found very significant, though, that he was moving quicker. Whoever's driving that car was driving quicker in that last final pass towards the house. Adrenaline is rushing. It's go time. To me, that would resonate with the jury as well.
You know what's cool is I've used that exact phrasing before, where I said it's go time. He's ready to go, right? I just didn't say it in the show, so it's kind of neat that, I think he has the same kind of perspective once you see this.
Couldn't it, all right, Gray, let me ask you, couldn't it also be because he saw the delivery guy? And that's what shook him at first when he saw DoorDash getting there. So once he saw DoorDash leave, that's the 408 once they left. I don't know, just my thought.
I mean, I think this is like, that's why I kept trying to tell people, like, this is such a significant piece of information here. It's huge. It's, but it's weird how people just kind of pretend like it doesn't mean something at all. And it's absolutely wild to me.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's exactly what was happening. It's like 60% faster. I mean, it's really hustling. If you watch the other ones, he kind of trickles around and watches, but that one is just boom. He's going to park. He saw that maybe the lights were off. He wasn't waiting anymore, and then bolted down the bank through the sliding glass door. And I think, likely probably went to Madison Milligan's room first.
Right.
That's my opinion, but
And again, you've been there where he's parking, very close to the home, and you're going to go. It's not the front door. You're going down a hill, sort of the side, because the house was built into like the side of a hill.
Exactly. Yeah. Just right up there to the left there is where you would park. Kind of where that truck is, a little bit further up on the left there.
Yep.
You could see it right back behind there. I did a 360-degree video where, have you seen those where you can look around in all directions?
Yes.
And so it's kind of interesting when you place it up there, you can just look around and see all the angles that he would be seeing. Like right there, that's almost where you'd be parking, just to the left a little bit. You can see right through that window.
No,
unbelievable. Gray Hughes. It's Gray Hughes Investigates on YouTube. You go on there, in-depth investigations like this, day after day. Gray, thank you so much. Appreciate your time and putting these pieces together for us tonight.
Well, thanks for having me on, Vinny.
That was a good plug. Everyone else is 4 to 4:25. I have an hour 12 minutes. I don't know. I don't know. Was it a white car? Absolutely. Was it him? I'm not. I want to see evidence. I want to see more evidence. In my heart of heart, do I believe that he's guilty? Absolutely. But now I want to see the proof. We need proof. 100%. Is it different when you're out there? Did he use the ladder to climb up? I can't get past motive. What the hell was his motive? I don't know. I've been big on motive lately. Give me a motive. I just want to know motive. Oh, is missing a front license plate? Do you need a front license plate in Pennsylvania? I know in Iowa you do. Same thing in New York. Here you don't. Thank you. No? All right. All right. I am now going to get off. I was going to get off 30 minutes ago. But Gray, I want to thank you for that. And let me know what you find out about Karen Reed case, because it's interesting, to say the least. Very, very interesting. And it's all over the place. But you got to believe in conspiracy. If you don't believe in conspiracy, you might have a hard time with it. I'm not saying that I don't believe Brian Kohlberg is guilty. I do think he's guilty. I just want to see proof and motive. And I think his defense is ridiculous, but that's a whole nother story. That's for a whole nother night. So, all right. Good night, everyone. Thank you guys for super chats, although we didn't make goal. And we'll have to make up for it tomorrow. But I want to thank Gray for stopping by. And Glara, it was a pleasure having you on panel. I never thought I'd say those words. Probably an incel who wanted to. That's possible. That's what I'm saying. I just want to see. Oh, Gray, while you're here, I do have a question. While he's seeing a judge, why is he not in handcuffs And why is he not in an orange suit? There's no jury. Why isn't he locked up? Why isn't he allegedly murdered 4 people. I know innocent till proven guilty, but I have yet to see a criminal who's being charged with quadruple homicide that doesn't even have a chain on and looks like a standard lawyer. Can you answer that? Is it because he's on camera? But he's still charged with quadruple murder. Usually they're locked up until court, or chains, or their hands are locked, or they're in handcuffs or foot cuffs. He walks in like an attorney. Why? And that, I'm like asking you that. I'm not debating it. I'm asking because I can't figure out why. So you can text me with an answer. Because I've been thinking about this since the trial the other day. I can't figure out why he has no handcuffs on. Yeah, but it's not jury. He's not in the juries yet. He's not with the jury yet. I can see it once he's with the jury, but he's not with the jury. So I don't really see the reason why he would need it. I mean, why he wouldn't be in handcuffs like every other criminal. One to think about. Every other criminal before they hit a jury is in a handcuffs because, you know, you're being charged with quadruple homicide. You can be very dangerous. Look at the criminal that attacked that judge. People are crazy. You never know. All right. I guess Gray logged off. I'll text him and I will get you guys your answer tomorrow. All right. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful night and I'll see you guys tomorrow.